Welcome to Novel Pulse. I have romance novels for you on my YouTube channel. Listen and enjoy. In each episode, I delve into enchanting love stories that will capture your heart and ignite your imagination. Join me as we explore tales of passion, heartbreak, and unforgettable moments perfect for every hopeless romantic. I share personal recommendations, reviews, and insights to help you find your next favorite read so you never run out of love stories. Engage with me in the comments, share your thoughts, and let's create a community where love stories come alive together.
Nathan Janet. Nathan POV. "What the fuck happened to you?" Mark exclaimed as I entered my office. He rushed toward me and helped me to sit down on the couch. "Holy shit, Nathan," he mumbled, tilting my head to look at my beaten and bruised face. "Nothing I didn't deserve," I mumbled, making Mark furrow his eyebrows. "What the fuck are you talking about?" he asked. I sighed and glanced at the liquor cabinet. "Get me a glass of whiskey, will you?" I mumbled. Mark sighed and walked to the cabinet. I watched him pour whiskey into 2 glasses. He walked back toward me and handed me a glass. I took it from him and poured the whiskey down my throat. "I was the cursed mate," I mumbled, looking into an empty glass. "What?" Mark mumbled, shock evident in his voice. I looked up at him and took a deep breath. "She wasn't mine," I said. "I was the cursed one." Mark's eyes widened. I could tell that he had a million questions to ask me, but I assumed that he didn't know where to start. "They let me go because I'm an alpha," I said. "They said they didn't want to kill me and go to war with my crazy father." I understood them completely. My father was insane and he would go to war with them. "I am so fucking confused," Mark mumbled as he sat beside me. I sighed and looked at my friend. "But she was supposed to be our Luna," Mark mumbled. "Who will be our Luna? Do you have a true mate?" I smiled a little. "I do," I said. "The moon goddess told me that I do." Mark's eyes widened. He studied my face for a few seconds. "How hard did they hit you?" he asked, narrowing his eyes and looking at the bruises on my head. I sighed and rolled my eyes at him. "Emma and I saw the moon goddess after she broke the curse," I said. "Her magic knocked us out, and we woke up on some field. We got to talk to the moon goddess there. She told me that my true mate was waiting for me in my pack." Mark's eyes widened even more. "Who is she?" he asked. I shrugged. Mark wanted to ask me something else, but he was interrupted when the door to my office burst open. "Where's your Luna?" my father asked. His eyes widened as he looked me up and down. "What the fuck happened to you?" he yelled, closing my office door. The rage inside of me started to boil. The man in front of me was guilty of fucking everything. He was the one who filled my head with stories of the white wolf. He was the one who told me that I was her goddess-given mate. He was the one who made me believe that she belonged to me. He killed my mother. He abused me. He completely destroyed our pack. I was to blame too. I shouldn't have listened to him. Looking back, the curse trapped so much anger inside of me. The dark magic was eating my heart and my soul. My father only added fuel to the fire. I wanted to kill him, but I couldn't. No matter what, he was my father. I wouldn't be able to live with the fact that I killed my own father. "You are banished from the pack," I said as I stood up. "You are no longer a member of the Blood Moon Pack. You will be escorted to the border. You are a rogue now. If I see you near my pack, I will kill you." I could feel my father's link to the pack break. His eyes widened as he fell to his knees. He gasped for air. "What did you do?" he screamed. "You made my life a living hell," I said, trying to remain calm. "You poisoned my mind and my soul. You destroyed our pack. You don't deserve to be a part of it anymore. You don't deserve to be a part of my life anymore." My warriors knocked on my office door. They could smell my father. He smelled like a rogue now. "Come in," I said. The door opened, and my warriors walked inside. "Take him to the border," I ordered. "He is no longer a member of our pack." I could tell that my warriors were surprised, but they listened to me. They didn't have any other choice. "This isn't over," my father screamed. "I will get you back for this. I will make your life a living hell, Nathan." "You already did," I said as the office door closed. The last thing I saw was the murderous look in my father's eyes. "What the fuck?" Mark mumbled, making me look back at him. "I promised Emma that I would cut all ties with him," I said as I walked to the liquor cabinet and poured myself another drink. "I promised Emma that I would listen to my wolf more. She saved my life, and I will do everything I can to repay her." "Don't get me wrong. I am happy that you finally got rid of your father, but exiling him?" Mark mumbled. "Was that smart?" "I don't give a shit," I said. "I will kill him if I see him here again." I poured another drink down my throat. I took a deep breath after gulping down my drink. I froze. Noel stirred. The most beautiful scent made my knees buckle. A knock on the door made me freeze. "Come in," Mark mumbled. My mate was on the other side of that door. I knew it. I felt it. The door opened, and the most wonderful woman walked inside my office. Janet. She was staring at me wide-eyed. I could hear her heart racing. "What the hell is going on?" she mumbled, her voice trembling. "Why did my wolf just recognize you as my mate?" Mark gasped. Noel was going to explode with happiness. "Mate," I mumbled as I rushed toward her. I closed the distance between us and pulled her into my arms. Tingles and sparks exploded on my skin. I had my mate with me all along. She was always next to me. She was always mine. Janet POV. I was so confused. My heart was pounding in my chest. The tingles and sparks on my skin were pleasurable, but weird. What was going on? "What is going on, Jess?" I asked my wolf. "I don't know," she whined. "I can't talk to Noel. He is too excited." Nathan finally let me go. I saw tears on his bruised cheeks. One of his eyes was swollen shut. The other was completely black and blue. "Can you give us some privacy, Mark?" Nathan mumbled, keeping his eyes on mine. "Well, one of his eyes." "Sure," Mark mumbled, and I heard him leave Nathan's office. "You were right next to me all this time," Nathan mumbled as he leaned his forehead on mine. Why wasn't he as surprised as I was? Why did it seem like he knew what was going on? Did he know? "What is going on, Nathan?" I asked, trying to stop my voice from shaking. Nathan lifted his head and took my hand in his. He pulled me to the couch, and we sat beside each other. "There is no easy way to say this, Jenny," he mumbled, calling me by my childhood nickname. "I will tell you my story, and I will let you decide what you want to do." I wasn't sure if it was possible, but my heart raced even more. "You know the legend of the White Wolf?" Nathan asked me. "Of course," I mumbled. "We grew up listening to stories about the White Wolf. Everyone from our pack knew the legend." "The stories are true, Jenny," Nathan said, tightening his grip on my hand. "Alpha Logan's mate, Emma, is the White Wolf." My eyes widened. "What?" "My father always told me that I was the White Wolf's goddess-given mate," Nathan continued. "He told me that she would be my Luna. He told me that she would make me the strongest alpha." Nathan took a deep breath and caressed my cheek. The tingles made me shiver. "When I found out about Emma, I knew that I had to go get her," Nathan mumbled. "I was so fucking sure that she was mine. I left to the Crescent Moon Pack to bring her back here and make her my Luna." My heart broke. Jess howled quietly. I could feel her pain. I could feel her sadness. Nathan tightened his jaw. He pulled me closer and placed an arm around my waist. "I was wrong, Jenny," Nathan continued. I was the cursed mate. Emma was already with her goddess-given mate. You and I couldn't feel our bond because I was under a spell. I could feel my heartbeat in my throat. It was getting harder and harder to breathe. You left me to go get her? I mumbled, feeling a sharp pain in my chest. Everything was so much worse because I did, Nathan mumbled. I am so fucking sorry. I didn't know. If I knew, I wouldn't leave. I wouldn't leave you, Jenny. I felt a tear fall on my cheek. I was a complete idiot. Nathan sighed as he leaned his forehead against mine. The curse made me so fucking angry. My father made me angry. I made a huge mistake, and I hurt so many people because of it. I wiped the tears from my cheeks. Who did you hurt? I asked quietly. He lifted his head and looked at me. I could see the pain and regret in his eyes. You, he said. Emma, Logan, Emma's brother, and his wife. The list goes on and on. I gulped and took a deep breath. What did you do? I asked. Nathan lowered his head and took a deep breath. I was angry because Emma didn't want me, he said. I tried to force her to come with me by threatening to hurt her sister-in-law and her unborn pup. I placed my hand on my lower belly automatically. Nathan looked up at me. I saw how embarrassed he was. I can't believe I did that, he mumbled. I can't believe that they let me go. I was sure that they would kill me. A sharp pain in my chest almost made me gasp. If they had killed him. Emma saved my life, Nathan said. She made me promise that I would cut all ties with my father. She made me promise that I would listen to Noel more. I furrowed my eyebrows. What do you mean? I exiled my father from our pack, Nathan said, making me gasp. I am done being controlled by him. Emma saved my life, and I would repay her by being a better person. I am going to be a better person for you. I will do everything I need to do to deserve you. My head was spinning. You exiled your father? I mumbled. I did, Nathan nodded. You know what kind of a man he is. You know what he did. The only reason I listened to him all this time was because he was fueling the anger inside of me. Now that the curse is gone, the anger is gone too. I don't want that man around me anymore. Nathan was right. His father was a terrible man. He was cruel, and he made Nathan's life a living hell. I was glad he got rid of him. I know it will take you some time to process everything I just told you, Nathan said as he leaned in and kissed my cheek. I know you well enough to know that you won't accept me immediately. He was right. He did know me well. I need some time, Nathan, I said. He nodded and gave me a small smile. I will wait for you as long as I have to, he said softly. I want you to know that I am so fucking sorry. I want you to know that I love you. I gulped and took a deep breath. Nathan? I called him quietly. Yes, Jenny? He asked, giving me a small smile. I had to tell him. I couldn't keep it from him any longer. This news had nothing to do with our current problem. It was only a matter of time before he figured it out. I was surprised that he didn't notice it yet. I am 2.5 months pregnant, I said quietly. It's a boy. You are going to be a dad. His one good eye widened, and a huge grin spread across his face. He looked down at my belly and sobbed. I am going to be a dad? He asked, looking back up at me. I nodded, and he pulled me into a hug immediately. My heart skipped a beat. I was so happy that the news made him happy. I still needed time, though. I needed time to process everything that happened. I needed time to accept it all. Nathan POV. I was looking at my beautiful little boy who was sleeping peacefully in my arms. He was perfect. He was a perfect combination of his mom and me. You are going to be the best alpha one day, I told him quietly. I will be there for you every step of the way. I am not going to do what my father did, I promise. I will be better. I will do better. When my pup was born, one of my greatest fears was that I would be a bad father. I didn't have the best role model growing up. I was so scared that I would turn out just like my father did. But Jenny convinced me otherwise. She made me realize that I was different. She was there for me, and she supported me every step of the way. Unfortunately for me, she was only there for me as a friend. She said that she needed time. I understood it, and I tried to support her. It was so fucking hard, though. I wanted my mate more than anything. I wanted to kiss her, and I wanted to hold her. I wanted to mark her. I wanted to make her mine. But I knew she needed time. I knew that I fucked up. How is he? I heard my mate's voice. I turned around and smiled. He is sleeping peacefully, I said, looking back down at him. I bent down and placed a soft kiss on his forehead. I can't believe he is 3 months old today, Jenny said quietly. Time is going by so fast. My heart clenched. She was right. Time was going by so fast, and I still didn't have her. My family wasn't complete yet. Jenny approached us and smiled. She looked at our pup and caressed his little cheek. He is so cute, she mumbled, and I am not saying that just because he is our pup. I chuckled and kissed her temple. You aren't biased at all, I said teasingly, making her roll her eyes at me. Goddess, she was beautiful. I tightened my jaw and made a decision. I decided to talk to her today. I couldn't wait any longer. I needed her. I needed to make her mine. I was going to go insane if I didn't. I would understand if she needed more time. I would find a way to deal with it, but I fucking needed to try. She was living at the Pack house, sleeping in the room next to mine. She was here. I saw her every day. She was a Luna of my pack. But she still wasn't my mate. I still couldn't fucking touch her and bury myself inside of her. I walked back to the crib and put my son down. I needed to do it now. I turned back around, approached my mate, and took her hand in mine. I started leading her toward her bedroom, which was adjacent to the nursery. Where are we going? She asked, confused. I didn't answer. I was too focused on trying to calm my racing heart down. I opened the door, walked into her room, and pulled her toward the bed. I sat down and made her sit beside me. What's wrong, Nathan? She asked softly. I took a deep breath and cupped her cheeks. The tingles and sparks calmed me down a little. You are right, Jenny, I said. Time is going by so fast. Hunter is 3 months old. Soon he is going to be all grown up, and he will run our pack. Jenny frowned. You missed a few steps there, she said with a hint of amusement in her voice. It doesn't matter, I said, shaking my head. Important thing is that I don't want to wait. I don't want to lose any more time. I want my family to be complete. I want you, Jenny. I want to mark you and show you how fucking much I love you. Her eyes widened a little. I understand if you need more time, I sighed, but I needed to say something before I exploded. I needed to try. I didn't want to waste more time. Jenny studied my face for a second before she placed her hands over mine. I don't need more time, Nate, she said, making my heart skip a beat. I watched you become the best father and the best alpha. I fell in love with you a little bit more every day. You are right. We shouldn't waste any more time. I was going to explode with happiness. I leaned in and captured her soft lips with mine. She tasted so fucking amazing. She tasted like cinnamon and apples. Emma would be proud of you, Jenny said as I stopped kissing her. I furrowed my eyebrows and she gave me a small smile. You are a different man now, Jenny said. You are kind and loving. You listened to her and deepened your connection with Noel. She would be proud, I am sure of it. She would be glad she saved your life. I really hoped that she would. I had a long road of redemption ahead of me, but I was definitely on the right track. You are, Noel told me. Jenny is right. Emma would be glad. A warm feeling spread through my chest. It's too bad that we will never know for sure, I said to both Jenny and Noel. They forbade me from ever coming back to their pack, and I would honor it. I didn't want to cause even more damage to them. You never know, Jenny said with a small smile. You might see her again. I would love that. I would love to thank her for believing in me and giving me a second chance. I smiled at my mate and placed another kiss on her lips. Jenny, I mumbled as I started kissing her neck. She moaned and wrapped her arms around my waist. Yes, she mumbled, already panting a little. Can I mark you? I asked, sucking on her marking spot a little. Just at that moment, our pup started crying. Fuck, I mumbled, making Jenny laugh. Tonight, she said as she placed a soft kiss on my neck. I lifted my head and smiled at her. I couldn't wait to make her mine. You ain't Janet POV. Hunter, leave your brother alone, I screamed for like 1,000th time today. Hunter laughed, tickling Harry one more time before he ran away. Harry laughed loudly and ran after him. I sighed and turned around. I give up, I mumbled as I opened the kitchen door. My handsome mate was there. He was scrolling through his phone and sipping coffee. Still no luck? He asked, looking up at me. I saw a slight smirk on his face and rolled my eyes. They are driving me crazy, I said as I poured myself some coffee. I loved my 2 teenage boys so much, but sometimes I wanted them to return to being my babies. They were so calm and adorable. They were teenagers who always found something to fight about and could destroy my entire house in just a few seconds. Maybe we should try for a girl, Nate said, making me raise my eyebrows at him. I love you and our 2 troublemakers, but I do not want any more kids, I said as I walked over to Nate. He smiled and moved his arms so I could sit on his lap. I love you, Nate mumbled as he placed a small kiss on my shoulder. I love you too, I said, giving him a small smile. You stink. You little shit. I heard screams approaching us, and I sighed. Nate chuckled. Hey, at least they adore each other? Nate chuckled. He was right. Our boys fought all the time, but they absolutely adored each other. They were protective of each other. They were kind and loving. I was so proud of both of them. Nate cupped my cheeks and kissed me. I kissed him back and ran my fingers through his soft hair. Gross, I heard my son's voice. I chuckled and stopped kissing my mate. Harry and Hunter entered the kitchen with huge smiles on their faces. I thought that you were fighting, I said. Not really, Harry sighed. We just have new nicknames for each other. I raised my eyebrows at them. Never mind, Mom, Hunter chuckled as he sat beside his brother. It was hard for me to believe they were 15 and 13 years old. It felt like I gave birth to Hunter yesterday. Are you going to the Alpha gathering at the Full Moon Pack? Hunter asked. Nate glanced at me and took a deep breath. I stood up and walked to the stove. I started preparing breakfast. Nathan didn't like those gatherings. He had to see Logan and Emma there, which always reminded him of what had happened. Emma and Logan always kept their distance from us. They never spoke to us, but were always very polite when we crossed paths. Logan glared at my mate the first few times, but stopped after a while. Thankfully, there were always many people at Alpha gatherings, and nobody ever noticed the tension between them and us. We still hadn't told our kids what had happened all those years ago. Nathan was always putting it off, saying that the kids were too young to know. I knew the real reason, though. He was ashamed. I told him repeatedly that there was nothing to be embarrassed about. He turned his life around. He became a fantastic father and mate. Our pack was one of the strongest ones now because of him. He wasn't the same man he was all those years ago. But he was still embarrassed. He feared his sons would see him differently after discovering the truth. I am, buddy, Nathan said. Why? Can I come this year, Dad? Hunter asked excitedly. I am 15. I will be alpha soon. It's time for me to start going to these things. I was so proud of my boy. He took his role as a future alpha very seriously. He started training and learning when he was only 10 years old. He said that he wanted to become the best alpha he could be. I could feel Nate's nervousness. You need to talk to him, Nate. I mind-linked him. He is right. He is going to be an alpha soon. He needs to know what happened. He needs to know all the facts. My son was an intelligent boy. He would notice that we aren't allies with the strongest pack and would want to know why. I know, Nathan sighed. I will talk to him. I will tell him. I could sense the fear coming off of Nate. There is nothing to be afraid of, my love, I said softly. He will admire and love you just as much and maybe even more after you tell him the truth. Nathan took a deep breath and smiled at our son. You are right, bud, Nate said. It is time for you to learn about these things. A huge smile spread across Hunter's face. Does that mean I can go this year? He asked excitedly. Nathan smiled and nodded. How about me, Dad? Harry asked. You are still too young, kid, Nate said, making Harry frown. You can come with us when you turn 15. I promise. Harry rolled his eyes, making me chuckle. I approached him and hugged him from behind. Maybe I could stay home with you, and you and I can spend some time together, I said, making him look up at me. Just me and my little pup. Harry sighed and rolled his eyes. I am not little, Mom, he mumbled. I chuckled and kissed his cheek. You will always be my little pup, I said, even when you turn 50. Harry rolled his eyes again, making me chuckle. Fine, he sighed. Will you make cheesecake for us? He grinned at me and I laughed. I will, I said and winked at him. I kind of want to stay home now too, Hunter mumbled, making Nate and me laugh. No can do, Alpha, Harry said. I'm getting all the cheesecake while you go to work. I chuckled and shook my head. I walked back to the stove to finish making breakfast. I heard footsteps approaching me and felt 2 hands wrap around my waist. I love you, Jenny, my mate mumbled as he placed a small kiss on my neck. I love you too, I said softly. Nate smiled at me, and I felt shivers up and down my body. I would never get tired of this feeling. I would never get tired of the bond and the love we shared. Jacob rose. Jacob POV. Come on, Jake, stop moping around, Dylan sighed. We are running late. I rolled my eyes and stood up. I am not moping around, I mumbled as I walked past him. Are you coming or not? I heard him following behind me. You are the chief of patrol now, Dylan said. You shouldn't be late for an important meeting. I sighed and narrowed my eyes. We still have half an hour left until we have to be there, I said, trying to remain calm. Will you get off my back? It's 20 minutes, not half an hour, Dylan said, making my anger grow. I tightened my jaw and took a deep breath. I had to ignore him, or his annoying attitude would make me snap. What the hell is with you today? Dylan asked. Your mood is going to destroy this meeting. I was really going to punch him. Dylan grabbed my arm and made me stop walking. I growled at him, trying to pull my arm out of his grip. Talk to me, Jacob, Dylan said. I am not letting you go there like this. Something is obviously bugging you. I tightened my jaw to the point where I thought my teeth would break. Is this about Emma again? Dylan sighed. You have to stop, Jake. She is married. She has kids. I saw fucking red. I was so fucking tired of everyone asking me if my every bad mood was about Emma. It fucking wasn't. I would always love that girl, and I would never stop believing that she should have been mine. But I moved on. She had a mate. She had 2 kids with him. She wasn't fucking mine, and I found a way to be okay with it. I just wish that everyone would stop bugging the fuck out of me. It's not about Emma, I said, pulling my arm out of his grasp. Then what is it? Dylan sighed. I started walking again. I didn't know what it was about. I was just pissed off from the moment I woke up this morning. Dylan was right. This meeting was necessary. We were meeting with Alpha Henry's head of patrol to discuss border security. Logan was cautious after everything that had happened. It was understandable, and I ultimately agreed with him regarding the border issue. Alpha Henry was one of our allies whose pack was on our northern border. He was more than happy to let his head of patrol meet with me. I needed to get my shit together and do my job. It would be easier if I knew what the fuck was bothering me. Jake? Dylan called me again, making me sigh. I don't know what's wrong, I mumbled. I've been pissed off since I woke up this morning. Jared is restless, but he doesn't know either. Keep it together until after the meeting, Dylan said. I clenched my fists and stayed silent. He was right, but he was really pissing me off. We were almost at the arranged spot when Jared stirred. What's wrong? I asked. Something is going to happen, Jared said, growling quietly. Be careful. Guard up, Dylan, I told him. Jared said that something was going to happen. Dylan's head snapped in my direction. What? He asked, his eyes widening. I said guard up, I growled at him. Stop staring at me and be careful. I could smell and hear Alpha Henry's pack members, who were already waiting for us on the other side of the border. There was one smell that stood out. It was a smell of mango with a hint of watermelon. Why the fuck was I smelling mango and watermelon in the middle of the fucking forest? I rushed toward the meeting spot when my whole world completely shifted. My eyes fell on a woman standing next to Jason, Alpha Henry's chief of patrol. She was fucking beautiful. Her scent made me drool. Every fucking thing that worried me just dissipated. I heard her gasp. I watched as she turned around and looked at me. Goddess, she was gorgeous. Her black hair was cut into a short bob. Her green eyes melted with the forest around us. I was totally and completely in love with her. Mate, we said at the same time. I heard people around us gasp, but I didn't pay even the slightest attention to them. I could only see her. I only wanted to listen to her voice. I hurried toward her. I couldn't fucking wait to touch her. I couldn't wait to feel her skin on mine. She smiled and reached out for me. I grabbed her hand and pulled her into a hug. My whole body tingled. A pleasurable shiver went up and down my spine. Every ache in my body disappeared. I buried my nose into her hair and took a deep breath. Well, now we know why you were so nervous since you woke up this morning, Dylan snorted, making Jason laugh. Was he? Jason asked. Rose was on edge the whole day too. Rose? Her name was Rose? I let her go and looked down at her. I smiled and caressed her cheek. Hi, Rose, I said quietly. My name is Jacob. She smiled and my knees buckled. Hi, Jacob, she said. It is so nice to finally meet you. Her voice was melodic. I already knew that I would enjoy it each time she spoke. She was right. It was so fucking nice to meet her. I didn't think that you existed, I said quietly as I cupped her cheeks and leaned my forehead on hers. I already gave up on finding you. She placed her hand over mine and smiled. She was so fucking beautiful when she smiled. I would never get tired of watching her smile. I was always waiting for you, she said, making my heart skip a beat. I am so happy that you finally found me. I did. I finally found her, and I would never let her go. In Rose's POV. He was so beautiful, and I was so in love with him. There wasn't another word to describe him. He was beautiful. He was tall, muscular, and so freaking hot that I had to stop myself from drooling. He was great with kids, too. Yes, Alex, I will be back soon, he said with a small smile. Yes, I will bring you back a gift. He looked up at me and smiled. Who was Alex? I could tell he was a child by how he babbled over the phone. I didn't even know how Jacob understood him. Give your sister a kiss for me, will you? Jacob said. I heard the kid say something that made Jacob laugh. My heart fluttered. He was so freaking hot when he laughed. Hi, Amy, I heard him say, but I focused only on his lips. I wanted to know what they felt like against mine. I wanted to know what they tasted like. I was drooling after him, and Roxy wasn't helping with her constant comments. He is so pretty, she sighed. I can't wait to meet his wolf. Stop sighing all the time, I told her. You are distracting me. He is distracting us, Roxy mumbled. How could he not? He is perfect. I rolled my eyes and ignored her. I had trouble keeping my own emotions in check, and I didn't need hers as well. I will be home soon, Jacob said. Yes, you will get to meet her. He called to tell his cousin and his friend about me. Based on their reactions, I could tell that they were really excited to meet me. I was excited to meet them too. Say hi to my niece for me, Jacob said with a small smile. He told me that his cousin was pregnant and that he couldn't wait to meet her baby. I could tell that he really loved and cared for his family. Jacob hung up the phone and looked at me. He smiled, and I immediately approached him. I really needed to touch him. He pulled me onto his lap, and I pressed my lips against his immediately. Both of us moaned quietly. He tasted as delicious as I knew he would. Oh, fuck Rose, he mumbled, and tightened his arms around me. I could feel something hard under my butt, and I grinned. I kissed him again, pressing myself closer to him. His hands traveled down my body. He gripped my butt and squeezed. I shivered. I wanted more. I really, really wanted more. We would have to wait, though. We couldn't have sex in the middle of my parents' living room. So who is Alex? I asked as I stopped kissing him. I needed a distraction. We needed a distraction. My friend's kid, he said with a small smile. He is cute. I love him. He smiled, and it made my heart skip a beat. I could tell that he was going to be a great father. He has a sister? I asked, remembering his conversation with the boy. Yes, Jacob nodded. A twin. They are inseparable. How old are they? I asked, wanting to know more about the people who mattered to him. My family was small. I didn't have siblings or cousins. I could tell that Jacob had a big family, and I was excited to be a part of it. I wanted to know more about them. They will be 3 in a couple of months, Jacob said, giving me a small smile. I can't wait to meet them, I said, smiling back at him. So you are really taking our daughter to your pack? I heard my mom's voice behind me. I flinched and stood up immediately. My parents were cool, but I was sure that they didn't want to see me sitting on my mate's lap. Jacob smiled, but I could sense his nervousness. I am, he nodded. We will come to visit all the time, and you are more than welcome to come to my pack. My parents are excited to meet you. My dad approached me and pulled me into his arms. Take care of my little girl, my dad said as he hugged me tightly. I will, I heard my mate's voice. I am honored to have a mate as beautiful and kind as your daughter. I will love her and cherish her. You better do that, my mom said as she joined in on our hug. Her voice was quiet and raspy. I could tell that she was crying. I looked up at my mom and gave her a small smile. You will see me all the time, Mom, I told her. I am not moving far away. My mom wiped her cheeks and gave me a small smile. I know, Rosie, she said softly. I will still miss seeing you every day, though. I will miss seeing you too, Mom, I said, letting go of my dad and wrapping my arms around my mom. Yeah, she hugged me tightly and kissed my temple. We need to get going, Jacob said, making my mom sigh. My mom let me go and cupped my cheeks. Call me when you get there, okay? She said, and let us know when we can come to visit. Of course, Jacob answered instead of me. I will talk to my alpha and let you know when you can come. I smiled at my mom. She kissed me again before letting me go. Jacob walked to the front door and picked up my bags. He opened the front door and stepped outside. My dad went to help him bring my bags to my car. I took a deep breath and looked around my childhood home. I was sad that I had to leave, but I was so excited to start my life with my mate. I waited for him for a long time. I thought that I would never find him, and now that I did, I couldn't wait to spend every second with him. Jacob POV. We won't be having any more children after this one, Rosie said, pacing around the room slowly. You don't want another boy? I asked, smirking a little. Rosie looked at me, making me raise my hands and surrender. Hey, I am just repeating what you said, I defended myself. After we found out that our second baby was a girl, Rosie was so excited. She did say that she wanted another boy, though. She adored our son, and they had a special relationship. She rolled her eyes and continued pacing around the room. She looked like a little penguin. I chuckled and shook my head. I forgot how painful it is to give birth, Rosie said, groaning a little. I stood up and approached her. I caressed her belly and kissed her temple. You can do it, I mumbled quietly. I love you, and I am so proud of you. Rosie leaned on me and I rubbed her back gently. I love you too, she mumbled, making me smile. There was a knock on the door, and a second later, Emma peered in. She was still volunteering at the hospital when she had time, and she was here when we came in. Hi, guys, she said with a huge smile on her face. How is it going? Slowly, Rosie sighed as she walked over to the bed and sat down. She is a stubborn kid, and apparently she doesn't want to come out. Emma chuckled and adjusted Rosie's pillows. I remember that, she said. We will have another stubborn girl in the family, apparently. Sophie didn't want to come out either. Alex was practically talking by the time we managed to convince her to join us. I snorted and shook my head. I wasn't surprised. Sophie really was a stubborn little girl. I am not surprised, Rosie chuckled. She is a stubborn little girl. She's got that from her dad, Emma said, rolling her eyes playfully. I laughed and shook my head. I've known you for ages, I said. She's got that from you. Emma looked at me and shook her head, making me laugh again. So where are Alex and Soph? I asked, rubbing my mate's back gently. They are with Daisy as well, Emma said. Mason, Alex, and Sophie took the responsibility of watching over Danny very seriously. I smiled. My boy loved his old friends. He loved spending time with them. Is he behaving? Rosie asked. Oh, I am sure that he is, Emma smiled. He is a great boy, Rosie. You did an amazing job raising him. Rosie smiled and took Emma's hand in hers. Thank you, Emmy, Rosie said softly. I smiled and took my mate's other hand in mine. I loved the friendship between Emma and Rosie. I even got closer to Logan after finding my mate. He was way more relaxed around me, and I could even call him my friend now. I still loved Emma a lot. She was still my best friend, and I would still do everything for her and everything in my power to protect her. I didn't want her like I wanted her before. That feeling of that intense need for her disappeared the moment I met my mate. "Ah," Rosie groaned, placing her hand on her belly. She had another contraction. She squeezed my hand and I bent down to kiss the top of her head. "They are getting closer together," Rosie mumbled, taking a deep breath. "I will go get Ren," Emma said. "Thank you," I told her as I watched her leave the room. She smiled at us before she closed the door behind herself. I pulled up a chair and sat down next to my mate. She was taking slow, deep breaths. She smiled at me, and I kissed her hand. "I can't wait to meet our baby girl," I said, trying to keep the tears away. I couldn't wait to hold my baby. I couldn't wait to meet my daughter. "What did we decide on the name?" Rosie asked. "The last two names we fought over were Olivia and Hazel," I chuckled. "What about Amelia?" Rosie asked. "We eliminated that name ages ago," I said, shaking my head at her. She groaned and squeezed my hand again, just as Dr. Wren walked inside. "Hi, Rosie," he said with a huge smile on his face. "Is the baby girl ready to come out?" "It sure feels like it," Rosie said, breathing through the contraction. Wren walked to the cupboard and put some gloves on. "Let's see how long until you can push," Wren said as she approached the bed. I looked at my mate's beautiful face. I bent down and kissed her cheek. She looked at me and smiled. "I love you," I told her. "Thank you for making me a father again." She smiled and squeezed my hand. "I love you too, Jake," she said. "I adore watching you with our son, and I can't wait to see you holding our little girl." My heart skipped a beat. I couldn't wait for that either. "Daniel is going out to be the best big brother ever," Rosie added, making me smile. Danny was 2.5 years old, but I already knew that Rosie was right. He was so kind and gentle, and I knew that he was going to be a great big brother. "Okay, Rosie," Wren said, making me look at him. "You will be ready to push soon. How are you feeling?" "Like I'm being torn in two," Rosie said, groaning as another contraction started. I took a deep breath and kissed her temple. I wish that I could take the pain away. I wish that I could endure it for her. "Just think about your little girl and that you will get to meet her soon," Wren said, smiling at Rosie. She smiled and nodded. "Have you decided on the name yet?" Wren asked us. Rosie looked at me and smiled. We both knew what name we wanted to give to our baby girl. "Hazel," we both said at the same time. I grinned and bent down to place a soft kiss on my mate's lips. I was the happiest man alive. Rose POV. "Stop it, Danny!" my daughter screamed while laughing out loud. Danny didn't listen to her. Of course he didn't. He continued splashing her with water. "It's my birthday," Hazel yelled. "You have to listen to me today." I couldn't believe that my baby was already 6 years old. The time was going by so fast. Alex, Mason, and Sophie were babies when I came to the pack, and now they were already teenagers. I sometimes wish that I could slow down the time. "Never!" Danny yelled as he ran away. I chuckled and shook my head. "Thank God I don't have an older brother," Mason sighed, rolling his eyes. "Your younger brother torments you just as much," Alex chuckled. "Yes, I do," I heard Mike's voice behind me. I turned around and saw Daisy and Mike approaching. "That's just because I let him," Mason said, frowning. "If he was older, I'm sure it would be worse." "Yes, it would," Mike laughed, making Mason roll his eyes. Mike was a funny little troublemaker. He always found a way to make us laugh. He was loving and kind, but he could really annoy the shit out of his older brother and the rest of his cousins. "Did Amy and Drake arrive?" Daisy asked, placing a plate filled with different cupcakes on the table. "Not yet," I said. "Amy called. They are running late because Hallie spilled yogurt all over herself just as they were about to leave." Daisy chuckled and shook her head. "She reminds me so much of me when I was a kid," Daisy said. "I was just as clumsy." "Where's Soph?" Mike asked, making Alex sigh. "She isn't feeling well," Alex mumbled worriedly. "Mom and Dad are with her." My heart skipped a beat. Sophie was struggling with magic lately. She had trouble controlling it, and it drained her energy completely. We were all very worried about her. "How come you aren't with her?" Mike asked Alex. Alex and Sophie were inseparable, especially if one of them wasn't feeling well. "She chased me out of the house," Alex sighed. "She said that I needed to relax and enjoy the party." Mason snorted. "It's like she doesn't even know you." "I said the same thing," Alex mumbled, frowning. He wouldn't be able to relax until Sophie was okay. "Don't worry, bud," Daisy said softly. "Your uncle is there, and he mind-linked me a few minutes ago. She is doing much better, and they are on their way here." "Is Emma okay?" I mind-linked Daisy. I knew why Andrew went there. Emma was a complete mess lately. She barely slept because she was trying to find a way to help Sophie with her magic. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to find anything. Sophie was the first one to have powers like that. "She is better," Daisy responded. Andrew managed to calm her down a little. I took a deep breath and looked back at Alex. He was distraught. "Alex!" my daughter screamed, making him turn around. "Hey, that's not fair," Danny shouted. "You are Alpha," Hazel said, running into Alex's arms. "You can order Danny to stop bugging me." Alex picked Hazel up and sat her on his lap. "Stop bugging your sister, Daniel," Alex said, making Hazel grin. "You are cheating," Danny shouted, making us laugh. "Amy and Drake should be here any moment now," I heard my mate's voice behind me. I turned around and saw him put his phone back in his pocket. I smiled and reached out for him. He wrapped his arms around me and kissed my temple. "Is Sophie okay?" Jacob asked quietly. I looked at the kids. Alex, Mason, and Mike were laughing at something Hazel had said. "She is better now," Daisy said. "She had a rough morning. She couldn't control the magic." "Fuck," Jacob mumbled as he ran his fingers through his hair. "Emma and Anna managed to contain it," Daisy continued softly. "She didn't hurt anyone." I took a deep breath and released it slowly. I was relieved. "Hi, guys," I heard Emma's voice behind us. I turned around and saw her, Logan, Andrew, and Sophie approaching us. Alex placed Hazel down and rushed toward Sophie. "Are you okay?" he asked as he grabbed her shoulders and looked her up and down. She smiled and nodded. I could see Alex relax a little. "Sophia, the boys are bugging me," my daughter complained, making Sophie laugh. Alex took her hand in his and pulled her toward the rest of the kids. "Are you okay?" Jacob asked Emma. "Tired, but better," she said with a small smile on her face. "Where are Drake and Amy?" "On their way," Jacob said. "Hallie spilled yogurt on herself." Emma and Logan chuckled. "Of course she did," Emma said, shaking her head. "Sit down," I told them. "We will eat when they get here." Emma and Andrew approached the table and sat down. Jake walked back to the house to get the drinks. "Soph," Logan called his daughter, making her look at him. "Come here, princess." She let Alex's hand go and approached her dad. He pulled her into a hug and kissed the top of her head. He whispered something to her. She nodded and smiled. "I love you, princess," Logan said softly. "I love you too, Dad," Sophie said. Logan let her go and she walked back to the kids. "She is okay, Logan," Andrew said quietly. Logan looked at him and took a deep breath. He approached us and sat down at the table. Emma took his hand in hers. "If something happens to my little girl," Logan mumbled worriedly. "Nothing is going to happen," Emma said. "I will find a way to get rid of the dark magic. I will find a way to help her." Logan pulled Emma into a tight hug. I looked at our kids and smiled. They were our biggest treasure. All of them were so kind and gentle. My eyes fell on my two little troublemakers, and my heart grew double. They were perfect, and I was so proud of both of them. I loved how my life turned out. I adored my mate and my children. I loved my friends so much. I couldn't help but wonder, what did the future hold for our children? Would they find love just like we did? Would they be happy just like we were? I didn't know the answers to those questions, but I knew that I would be here for them every step of the way. Alexander POV. "Why are you so annoying?" I screamed as I was walking down the stairs. Goddess, no one could have annoyed me more than my sister. Fia mumbled something as she slammed her bedroom door. I rolled my eyes and walked to the kitchen. "Are all sisters so annoying?" I sighed as I walked into the kitchen. My mom and my uncle were sitting at the table and sipping coffee. My dad was making breakfast. "I wouldn't know, bud," my dad chuckled. "Yes, they are," my uncle said at the same time. A small cloud appeared above my uncle's head. A few raindrops fell on his head. He looked up and sighed. "You are not proving me wrong, Emma," my uncle sighed. My mom chuckled and the cloud disappeared. I would never stop being fascinated with my mom's magic. She was the white wolf. She was the true Luna. My mom was the only wolf in existence that had magic. Well, she was the only wolf that had magic until she gave birth to my sister and me. Sophia also had magic, but it was different than my mom's. My mom was an elemental who could control water and air. My mom could also change the weather, and it was the coolest thing ever. When I was a kid, I loved storms, so my mom would always make little lightning bolts above my bed. It was one of the most precious memories I had. My sister's magic was a little bit different. She was also an elemental, but she could control earth and fire. My sister avoided using magic because of the darkness. My mom's magic was light, but my sister's wasn't. She had both light and dark magic, and she spent years learning how to push the darkness away. She avoided using magic completely, though. She said that even using her light magic could be dangerous. She said that she could feel the darkness tempting her to give in. I didn't inherit my mom's magic, but I did inherit her strength. I was a bit bigger and stronger than any other alpha wolf my age. I had more endurance, and I was faster than the others. My mom and my sister both had a unique ability to share their magic with others, mostly with my dad and me. They couldn't give us their magic to use, but they could enhance our abilities and protect us a bit better. Both of them could do it with others as well, but it took a lot of their strength and it wasn't as effective as it was when they transferred it to us. "What are you two fighting about now?" my mom asked as she pulled out a chair for me to sit on. I sat down next to her and she kissed my temple. I furrowed my eyebrows, trying to remember it. I completely forgot. Most of our fights were completely stupid, and I forgot what we were fighting about within minutes. "Oh," I remembered. "She keeps leaving my bedroom door open after she leaves." I sighed, rolling my eyes. My mom and dad chuckled. "That's the same fight you had for years," my uncle said, shaking his head and taking a sip of his coffee. "I know," I exclaimed. "I hoped that she would learn by now." "Thanks a lot, Emma," my uncle frowned. "My coffee is watered down now." "Oh, relax, it was just a few drops of water," my mom sighed. "Now I know where Sophia gets it from," I said, narrowing my eyes at my mom. That's exactly what she always says to me. Oh, relax, Alex. My dad was chuckling the entire time. He approached my uncle and gave him a fresh cup of coffee. Sophia? I heard my sister's voice. You are that mad at me? I looked at her and rolled my eyes. I only called her Sophia when I was really mad at her. Everyone called her Sophia only when they were mad at her. People called her Sophie or Soph. I always called her Fia. You need to close the door when you leave my room, I sighed. I know, Fia said. I already told you that I am sorry. Sorry won't close my door, I mumbled, frowning at her. Okay, enough, my dad said as he placed a plate filled with pancakes in front of us. You can argue about it later. We have more important things to discuss today. I frowned and looked at my dad. Is everything okay? I asked. Fia and I turned 18 3 months ago, and my father was preparing me to become an alpha. I was slowly taking over some of the duties, and I was hoping to take over the pack by the time I turned 19. Yes, bud. Don't worry, my dad said, giving me a small smile. I just need to talk to you and Soph about the alpha gathering this year. My excitement grew immediately. The alpha gathering was at our pack this year, and it would be the first time I would be allowed to go. I wanted my dad to take me sooner, but he told me that I had to wait until I turned 18. What about it? I asked excitedly. My dad glanced at my mom and my uncle. I could swear that I saw a hint of worry in his eyes. We are allowed to go this year, right? I asked, furrowing my eyebrows. If my dad said that I couldn't go again this year, of course, bud, my dad said, making me sigh in relief. We just want to tell you a little bit about Alpha of the Blood Moon Pack. I furrowed my eyebrows and looked at Fia. She was looking at my dad with a confused expression on her face. What about him? I asked, looking back at my dad. He took a deep breath and ran his fingers through his hair. Our pack has a history with him, my dad said as he placed his hands on my mom's shoulders. We moved on, but it's something that has affected us greatly, and we could never forget what happened. My heartbeat quickened. What happened? I asked quietly. My dad looked down at my mom. She smiled at him. Alpha Nathan tried to take your mom away from me, my dad said, making my eyes widen. Axel stirred and growled. What? Fia mumbled quietly. I took her hand in mine and squeezed it. Talk, I said sternly. Alexander, POV. I watched my dad as he pulled up a chair and sat down next to my mom. She ran her fingers through his hair and he smiled at her. I love you, Emma, my dad said quietly. I love you too, my mom said, giving him a small smile. My dad turned to Fia and me. I always told you that your fated mate would be the most important person in your life, right? My dad asked. I nodded. I was getting more confused by the second. I always told you that you have to cherish and respect your mate, right? My dad asked, his voice raspy. I nodded again. I glanced at Fia. She was as confused as me. What I am about to tell you next will probably change the way you feel about me, my dad said, his voice breaking. I just hope that you will find a way to forgive me. I love you too and your mom with my entire heart and soul, and I never want to lose you. My heart raced. What the hell was he talking about? Why would I change the way I felt about my dad? I love my dad. He took a deep breath and pulled my mom closer to him. She caressed his cheek gently. When I first found out that your mom was my mate, I rejected her, my dad said, making Fia gasp. I was frozen. What? He rejected my mom? My wonderful mom? Why? I glanced at my uncle. Did he know about this? How could he let it happen? If Fia's mate rejected her, I would rip his fucking heart out of his body. Why, Dad? Fia asked, her voice laced with sadness. My dad closed his eyes and took a deep breath. I was an idiot, my dad said quietly as he opened his eyes and looked at my sister and me. As you know, your grandfather was killed in a rogue attack, and he left me in charge before I even started my alpha training. I felt so responsible for my pack, and I was focused on finding a strong mate. I tightened my hand around Fia's. I found out that your mom was my mate on her 18th birthday, Dad said, looking at my mom. I rejected her that same day. I thought that she wasn't strong enough to be my Luna. I decided to take a chosen mate. I decided to make Sienna my Luna. To say that I was pissed off would be an understatement. Who is Sienna? Fia asked quietly. Did you know about it? I asked my uncle at the same time. My uncle nodded and took a deep breath. I did. I agreed with your dad. I supported him in his decision. My eyes widened. Was he serious? Was he fucking serious? Are you kidding me? I exclaimed, looking at my uncle wide-eyed. You let him do that to your sister? I instinctively pulled Fia closer to me. I made a mistake, my uncle said. Your dad and I both made a lot of mistakes. I looked at my mom. How could they hurt her like that? My mom was the best woman on this planet, and I wasn't saying it because she was my mom. It was the truth. My mom smiled at me. I wanted to hug her. Who is Sienna? My sister asked again, making us all look at her. She looked so sad and disappointed. My dad took a deep breath and ran his fingers through his hair. Sienna was Andrew's and mine childhood best friend, my dad said. Where is she now? Fia asked. We never met her. I'd never even heard about her until a few minutes ago. She is dead, my father said angrily. She died in the cellar a long time ago. Why did I have a feeling that there was so much our parents were hiding from us? Why was she there? Fia asked, gripping my hand tighter. My dad glanced at my mom and my uncle. Stop looking at each other and tell us the truth, I said, getting annoyed with the way they were prolonging this. My mom stood up and approached Fia and me. She kissed my temple and stood behind me. She wrapped her arms around Fia and me and leaned her head on mine. I relaxed a little. Sienna was in the cellar because she hired a rogue called Rolf to kidnap and kill your mom, my dad said, making my heart stop beating. What? What? I grabbed my mom's arm and looked up at her. I was horrified. Mom! Fia cried out, looking up at her mom as well. Fia's eyes were filled with tears. Our mom bent down and kissed Fia's cheek. She ran her fingers through my hair and gave us a little smile. Sienna was jealous of me being your dad's true mate, our mom said. She wanted me gone even though your dad chose her, so she hired a rogue to kidnap me. Your dad and your uncle found me and saved me. I looked back at my dad. Why did she hate Mom? I asked. You said that she was Uncle Andrew's and your childhood friend. Didn't she know Mom as well? Why would she hurt her? Sienna was always jealous of your mom, my uncle answered. She believed that Logan and I should love her more. She had bullied your mom for years. After Logan found out that your mom was his mate, Sienna lost it. She wanted to get rid of her. What the hell? I was getting more and more confused by the second. I had so many questions. She bullied Mom for years? Fia voiced out the first question I had on my mind. Why didn't you stop her? My uncle took a deep breath and looked at my mom. Because we didn't believe Emma, my uncle mumbled. I didn't believe your mom when she told me about Sienna. I fucked up. My eyes widened to the point of falling out of their sockets. Did I hear him right? No, there was no fucking way I heard him right. If Fia told me that someone was bullying her, I would rip them apart. I wouldn't even need proof. My sister's words would be proof enough. Let me get this straight, I mumbled, shaking my head. Your childhood friend bullied your sister for years and you didn't believe her? And then Dad chose that friend as his mate? But she was jealous of Mom and had her kidnapped? My uncle and my dad nodded. My mom caressed my cheek. I tightened my jaw. I could feel the anger boiling inside of me. I can tell what you are thinking, Bud, my uncle said. If we just believed your mom about Sienna, she would never be able to kidnap her. I clenched my fists and nodded. Why didn't you believe Mom? Fia asked quietly. My dad and my uncle took a deep breath and glanced at each other. I couldn't fucking wait to hear their excuse. I loved them both a lot, but I wanted to punch the shit out of them for doing that to my mom. Sophia POV. I was looking at my dad with a confused look on my face. So many emotions bubbled up inside me. Anger, sadness, fear, confusion, frustration. I had them all and I couldn't sort through them. We didn't believe her because we thought that Sienna would never do something like that, Uncle Andrew said. I thought that your mom was jealous of Sienna because we spent so much time together. My jaw almost hit the floor. Was he serious? Lex chuckled darkly. You didn't believe your sister because you thought that she was jealous? Lex asked, squeezing my hand tightly. Lex was very protective of Mom and me. I could feel his anger and sadness. He looked like he was going to explode. I was an idiot, Alex, my uncle sighed. I paid for my mistake. I almost lost my sister. I thought that she would never talk to me again. I thought that she would hate me. I thought that she would die before I got to tell her how fucking sorry I was. My eyes widened. Die? I mumbled, looking up at my mom. My mom almost died? I was in pretty bad shape when your dad and uncle found me, she said. Luckily, Dr. Wren saved me. Lex stood up abruptly and turned toward our mom. He pulled her into a tight hug. I am so sorry, Mom, Lex mumbled. If Sienna was still alive, I would kill her with my own bare hands. My mom hugged my brother and rubbed his back gently. She isn't alive anymore, honey, my mom said. She can't hurt anyone anymore. What about that fucking rogue? Lex asked. He is dead too, my dad mumbled, making me look back at him. My dad looked so sad. I wanted to hug him, but I was so angry at him. My dad looked at me and gulped. I could tell that he wanted to hug me too. What happened after? I asked. How did Alpha of the Blood Moon Pack try to take Mom away from you? Dad took a deep breath and looked at my mom. Do you remember the legend of the White Wolf? My dad asked. I nodded. Of course I remembered it. I grew up listening about my mom being the White Wolf and the only wolf in existence who had magic. Well, until she gave birth to me. We didn't tell you the whole story, my dad said, making me narrow my eyes at him. Did you reject my mom twice? Lex asked angrily. My dad sighed. Your dad made a mistake, honey, my mom said softly. I found a way to forgive him. He made up for it. He is a wonderful mate and a wonderful father. Please don't be angry at him. My mom was right. My dad was a wonderful mate and the best dad in the world. But it was so hard not to be angry. Lex scoffed and sat back down next to me. He crossed his arms over his chest and looked at our dad. What didn't you tell us? Lex asked angrily. My mom kissed the top of Lex's head and caressed my cheek. She walked back to Dad and sat down next to him. She took his hand in hers and gave him a small smile. My dad pulled her to him. I always admired the relationship my mom and Dad had. I always hoped that I would find a mate who would love me the same way my dad loved my mom. It hurt so much to find out that my dad rejected my mom. I couldn't believe it. It was hard to believe it. The White Wolf was created by a curse, my mom said, looking back at my brother and me. A long time ago, a clan of dark witches wanted to get rid of werewolves. They knew that they couldn't kill them because the goddess would punish them. Back then, there were only two packs, and the witches came up with a plan to turn the packs against each other. They thought that the best way to do that would be to turn the two alphas against each other. I furrowed my eyebrows. How? I asked. They cursed a woman from one of the packs, my mom said. Alpha of her pack was her goddess-given mate. The witches cursed the alpha of the other pack and made him her mate as well. The witches thought that the two alphas would fight over her, kill each other, and the packs wouldn't exist anymore. My breath got caught in my throat. You had two mates? My brother mumbled quietly. No. My mom looked at him and nodded. My eyes widened. Lex cursed under his breath. That's why you have dark magic, princess, my dad told me. Your mom's magic was created by a dark curse. The darkness from the curse transferred to you. I took a deep breath and released it slowly. Lex grabbed my hand. Will Fia have two mates? Lex asked worriedly. My eyes widened and I looked at him. It didn't even occur to me. Was it possible? We don't know, my mom sighed, making me look at her. You know that I am the first white wolf who had children. Everything we know so far is just an assumption. What happened to the first white wolf? Lex asked. She killed herself, my mom said. She couldn't choose between her two mates and she took her own life. An uneasy feeling washed over me. How did you choose, Mom? Lex asked her. My mom smiled and looked at my dad. My heart knew that your dad was the one, she said. Our love was stronger than the curse. A small smile spread across my face. My dad pulled my mom into his arms. He hugged her tightly and looked at us. I told you the story about the rogue king, didn't I? Dad asked as he kissed the top of my mom's head. Yes, Lex said. He killed your dad and Mom's parents. Our dad nodded. We never told you the real reason why he attacked the pack, our uncle sighed, joining the conversation. We never told you who he was really after. Is there anything that you did tell us? Lex asked angrily. We were trying to protect you, our dad said. Lex clenched his fists and narrowed his eyes at our dad. I could tell that he wanted to argue, but I interrupted him. I didn't want him to argue with Dad. I understood that he was angry, but nothing good would come out of the two of them fighting. Who was the rogue king after? I asked, making my dad and my uncle look at me. Your mom, my uncle said. I froze. Lex growled. What? Why? Alexander POV. I couldn't help but glare at my dad. I loved him so fucking much, but I was so angry at him. He rejected my mom. He didn't believe her. She almost died because he didn't believe her. I wanted to punch him, and I felt bad about it. He was my dad. I would never hurt him. But goddess, I was so fucking pissed off. Why was he after our mom? Fia asked quietly, her voice laced with sadness. I squeezed her hand. Are you okay? I mind-linked her. I don't know what to think, she said. I am sad and angry. I want to hug Dad, but I am angry at him. I am so confused. I know, Fia. I sighed. Me too. He heard about the legend of the white wolf, my dad answered. He was working with some witches, and they told him that he could take the white wolf as his mate. They told him that she would make him powerful. He thought that he would be able to have children with her and take over all the packs. I raised my eyebrows. Was he fucking insane? The witches who were working for him misinterpreted the legend, my mom sighed. As you already know, the legend was written in an ancient language and they translated it wrong. They thought that anyone could become my second mate. We didn't know anything about the legend at the time, Uncle Andrew said. We managed to capture some rogues that were working for the Rogue King, and they told us bits and pieces that they've heard from the Rogue King. We didn't even know that I had magic, my mom continued, making me look at her. The rogue kind just thought that I would be a better Luna, I guess. He thought that I would be more powerful and charismatic. That's about all that we knew about it. And what happened with him? I asked, feeling my heart race. Did he hurt my mom? Was he alive? If he was, I would kill him with my own bare hands. He came to our border with a witch, my dad sighed. She used her magic to incapacitate us. The Rogue King threatened to kill us if your mom didn't go with him. A growl escaped me. He threatened to kill my dad? He threatened to kill my family and my pack? Oh, I would fucking kill him. Oh, goddess, Fia cried out quietly. I placed my arm over her shoulders. What did he do to you, Mom? I asked quietly. I wanted to punch something. Well, not something, someone. I wanted to punch Sienna and that fucker who helped her. I wanted to punch the Rogue King and that fucking witch. Well, as it turned out, they knew a bit more about the legend than we did. My mom sighed. It was still wrong, though, but they knew that I had magic. They knew that I could share it. So when the Rogue King took me, he let the witches experiment on me. They were trying to see how much I could endure. They were trying to make me use my magic and share it with them. I saw fucking red. They experimented on my mom? Fia put a hand over her mouth and sobbed quietly. Oh, princess, my mom said as she stood up and approached my sister. She hugged her and kissed the top of her head. I am so sorry, Mom, Fia mumbled quietly. What did they do, Mom? I asked, trying to swallow the lump in my throat. My mom looked at me and sighed. It doesn't matter, honey, she said. All you need to know is that your dad and your uncle saved me again. It was bad. I knew it. She would tell us if it wasn't bad. So Alpha of the Blood Moon Pack was the Rogue King? Fia asked, looking up at our mom. No, princess, my mom said as she wiped the tears from Fia's cheeks. The Rogue King's name was Samuel, and he wasn't an alpha. Where is he? I asked angrily. Dead, my dad said, making me look at him. Well, at least he did something right. He killed all the people who hurt my mom. Alpha of the Blood Moon Pack was my real cursed mate, my mom said. The Rogue King thought that anybody could become my mate by marking me, but it wasn't true. The curse created my second mate, and it was Alpha Nathan of the Blood Moon Pack. I knew who Alpha Nathan was. I knew his son. He did the Alpha training a year earlier than me, so we didn't cross paths. But I knew who he was. But why was Alpha Nathan still alive? Why didn't my father kill him? Did he hurt you, Mom? Fia asked quietly. My mom took a deep breath and released it slowly. He came here because he was sure that he was my goddess-given mate, my mom said as he ran her fingers through Fia's hair. He was sure that your dad was the cursed one. He wanted me to give him a chance. Were you already mated to Dad then? I asked her. I did, my mom nodded. That was 4 years after the Rogue King took me. Your dad and I were already mated and married then. And he still insisted that you give him a chance? I asked angrily. My mom nodded. He was very sure that he was my goddess-given mate, my mom said. But how would he mark you if Dad had already marked you? Fia asked, furrowing her eyebrows. Anna came to our pack one day to tell us the whole legend of the White Wolf, my mom said as she went back to sit beside my dad. Her ancestors wrote the books, and she knew how to read them. She knew the entire legend. That's how you met her? Fia asked. My mom nodded. Anna told us about Alpha Nathan, my dad continued. She said that he was your mom's other mate, and that your mom had to be marked for the second time. But if her cursed mate was the one to mark her for the second time, she would die. Unfortunately, the first white wolf never found out who her goddess-given mate was, and we had no idea how to know for sure. My heart raced. My mom went through so much. I was fine with your dad being my cursed mate, my mom said. I was fine with things staying the way they were. I didn't want Alpha Nathan, not even if he was my goddess-given mate. But, Fia asked quietly, but Anna told me that I wouldn't be able to have children unless I was marked by my goddess-given mate, my mom said. I furrowed my eyebrows. Everything that happened was so fucking insane. I couldn't believe what my mom went through. Sophia POV. What did you do? I mumbled quietly. My mom looked at my dad and sighed. Alpha Nathan insisted on getting to know me, so we had dinner together, my mom said. I always knew that your dad was my goddess-given mate. I didn't need to get to know Alpha Nathan. My heart knew. Why didn't you mark her for the second time immediately, Dad? Lex asked. Da pulled Mom into his arms. He hugged her tightly and took a deep breath. I was scared, Dad mumbled as he buried his nose into my mom's hair. I was so scared that she would die. My dad closed his eyes. He adored my mom. It was hard for me to believe that there was a time when he didn't want her. I couldn't imagine my dad rejecting my mom. It was surreal. Why did you even go to dinner with him, Mom? Lex asked her. Why didn't you just throw him out of the pack? We were trying to avoid a war, my mom sighed. Back then, Alpha Nathan was under the influence of his crazy father, who was working with rogues. We didn't want innocent people to get killed. I couldn't let our pack members suffer because of me. I understood that. I would do the same thing. So what happened? Lex asked. How did you find out who the cursed mate was? My dad let my mom go. She looked at Uncle Andrew. Alpha Nathan went crazy, my mom mumbled. He wanted to force me to leave the pack with him. He took your Aunt Daisy hostage and threatened to kill her. She was pregnant with Mason then. My eyes widened. Lex growled loudly. I looked at my uncle, who had a pissed-off look on his face. I am still pissed as fuck about it, even though it happened 18 years ago, my uncle sighed. Of course you are, Lex said angrily. He threatened your mate and your child. I would have killed him. I squeezed Lex's hand. He was always very protective of our family. It was a value our parents taught us. Family and mates always came first. What happened next? I asked, making my parents and uncle look back at me. My dad looked at my mom and smiled. Your badass mom found her magic and saved Daisy, Dad said proudly. That's how you found your magic? I asked, raising my eyebrows. Yes, my mom nodded. Anna said that I would get my magic only after I was marked by my goddess-given mate, but I guess the anger I felt unlocked it. She was amazing, but she almost gave me a heart attack, my uncle chuckled, looking at my mom. My uncle was incredibly protective of my mom. He practically raised her because my grandparents were working a lot. Sometimes he acted more like her dad than her brother. Why? I asked. I fought Nathan using my magic, but it was still so new and I didn't really have control over it, so he almost won a couple of times, Mom said, chuckling and shaking her head. It wasn't funny, Emma, Uncle Andrew said sternly. I thought that you were dead. I gasped. Dead? Lex growled. I blasted us both with magic, Mom explained. I don't know how, but we passed out and talked to the moon goddess. The curse broke in the blast, and after we woke up, we weren't mates anymore. My head was going to explode. My mom talked to the moon goddess? You talked to the moon goddess? Lex mumbled. We did, my mom nodded. My brain felt like it was going to explode. Lex shook his head and took a deep breath. Why didn't you kill Alpha Nathan? Lex asked angrily. Why did you let the fucker live? I would have killed him. I want to kill him. Oh, believe me, bud, I wanted to kill him, Dad said. Your uncle wanted to kill him. But, Lex asked, but he is an alpha, our dad sighed. If we killed him, his father would have a very good reason to attack our pack. We did everything we could to avoid a war. Your Aunt Daisy was pregnant. Your mom and I were finally mated for the second time. None of us wanted to risk our happiness for some crazy fucker. Lex gulped and tightened his jaw. I made Alpha Nathan promise to cut ties with his father, my mom said. I made him promise to listen to his wolf more. As far as I am aware, he did all of that. He exiled his father, and he became a great alpha. And now you know everything, my dad said quietly. I looked at him and my heart clenched. He looked so sad and worried. Why didn't you tell us sooner? I asked, making my dad look at me. Why now? Well, this is the first time in 18 years that the Alpha of the Blood Moon Pack will attend the Alpha Gathering at our pack, Dad said. We forbade Alpha Nathan from coming to our pack, but his son took over, and your mom and I believed that it wouldn't be okay if we forbade his son from attending. The Alpha Gathering was a yearly event. Each year a different pack was hosting it. This year Alpha Gathering was at our pack. It was an opportunity for alphas to talk and make new allies. It was an interesting event, and I was excited for it to start. I would forbid his son from coming as well, Lex mumbled. I know, Bud, Dad said, but we can't punish him for his father's mistakes. Lex sighed. Dad looked at me and gulped. I am sorry, Dad said. I should have told you the truth sooner, but I was scared. Of what? I asked, furrowing my eyebrows. Of losing you two, Dad said. I am scared that you will hate me for what I did. My heart broke. We could never hate you, Dad, Lex sighed. I am pissed as fuck, but I could never hate you. Me neither, Dad, I said. You made a mistake, but I could never hate you. I love you. Dad stood up and approached us. He pulled both of us into a tight hug. Oh, thank Goddess, he mumbled as he kissed my temple. I love you both so much. I wrapped my free arm around my dad. I saw my mom and my uncle smiling at us. I was angry at my dad, but I could never hate him. I loved him so much. He made a mistake, but it didn't define him. He was still the best dad I could have asked for. Hunter POV. Can I come in? I heard my dad's voice. I looked up and nodded. I already knew that he was coming. I heard him approaching my office. Are you getting ready? Dad asked. Yes, I said as I put the pen down. I'm almost packed. I will leave in the morning. Dad nodded and sat down in the armchair in front of my desk. He looked nervous and worried. Stop worrying, Dad, I sighed. Everything is going to be okay. Dad took a deep breath and released it slowly. You can't blame me for being nervous, Dad mumbled. You are going to the pack of the people who hate my guts. I gritted my teeth. I knew what happened between my dad and Alpha Logan and Luna Emma. I wasn't saying that they didn't have a good reason not to like my dad, but he changed so much. I wished that they would give him a chance to show them that he wasn't the same man anymore. Everything is going to be okay, Dad, I said. They are not going to hurt me. I knew a lot about Alpha Logan and Luna Emma. They were good people. I was thankful to them for letting my dad go. I would be an orphan now. I would grow up without him if they didn't show him mercy. Dad ran his fingers through his hair. Both Emma and her daughter have magic, my dad said. You need to be careful. Emma and Logan had 2 children, Alpha Alexander and his twin sister Sophia. Alexander was the strongest alpha in existence. His mother's magic made him more powerful than the rest of us. He didn't inherit his mother's magic, though. I didn't know much about his sister, but I knew that she had magic. Some were saying that she was even more powerful than her mother, but no one knew much about her. Logan and Emma kept her hidden from the rest of the world. They were protective of her. "I know, Dad," I said. "I'm sure that it will be okay. I'm sure that they won't hurt me." "Just stay away from them," my dad said, "especially Emma's daughter. We don't know much about her, but people are saying that her magic is unpredictable, but stronger than Emma's." I sighed and nodded. "I am aware, Dad. I will be careful." Dad looked me up and down. "Your mother will kill me if something happens to you," Dad said, making me chuckle a little. Dad frowned. "It's not funny," he said. "Your mom is scary when she is angry." I laughed, shaking my head. "Oh, I know," I said. "I was on the receiving end of her anger a lot of times." Dad chuckled. "I know. I was afraid for you." Dad took a deep breath and a smile disappeared from his face. "Are you sure that you want to go, Hunter?" he asked me. "You don't have to, you know." I sighed and leaned back in my chair. I looked my dad in the eyes. "I am going, Dad," I said. "I won't waste an opportunity to make our pack better and stronger. I won't waste an opportunity to help our pack grow. I've heard a lot about Logan and Emma. They don't seem like the people who would hurt me unless I threaten their family, which I definitely won't do." Dad took a deep breath and nodded. "I know, Hunter," Dad said. "I wish I could stop being nervous, but you are my child and it's so freaking hard. You will understand one day." I smiled a little. I couldn't see myself as a dad yet, but I wanted to be someday. I could see myself as a mate. I couldn't wait to meet her. I couldn't wait to have her next to me. I couldn't wait to hold her, cherish her, and protect her. My dad always told me how important mates were, and after hearing his story, I knew why he was telling me that. He almost lost his mate and he didn't want the same thing to happen to me. I would never allow it though. I would fight for her until I took my last breath. "I know, Dad," I chuckled, "but I am focused on our pack for now." My dad smiled at me. "You are an amazing alpha," he said. "I am so proud of you." My heart swelled. "Thank you, Dad," I said quietly. I heard footsteps approaching my office. I knew it was my mom even before she entered my office. "Hey, honey," my mom said as she opened the door. "Did you pack your bags?" My dad turned around and smiled at my mom. "I did, Mom," I said. "I am leaving early in the morning." My mom approached my dad and placed her hands on his shoulders. He took her hand in his and kissed it. "Why are you two still here?" I sighed, remembering what they said yesterday. Harry and I finally convinced them to go on a small vacation at one of our cabins on the lake. They said that they would leave today. "We are leaving in an hour," my mom said. "I wanted to see you before we left. I wanted to tell you to be careful." "I know, Mom," I smiled. "Dad already told me to be careful." My mom nodded and looked down at my dad. "Are you ready to go, honey?" my mom asked. Dad smiled and gave her a little nod. "So, if you don't text me regularly, I will come there and drag you back home," my mom said as he looked back up and pointed a finger at me. "You might be a big bad alpha now, but you are still my child and I can still ground you." I tried to hold back my laugh. "I know, Mom," I said, biting the insides of my cheeks to stop myself from smiling. "I will text you." "I can see you smiling, Hunter Reed," my mom said. "I am being serious." "I know, Mom," I repeated. She approached me and pulled me into a hug. "Be careful, Hunter," she said softly. "I love you." "I love you too, Mom," I said as I hugged her back. She let me go and patted my cheek a little. "I will see you when you get back," she said. I nodded and watched as she walked back to my dad. "I love you, buddy," Dad said as he smiled at me and took my mom's hand in his. Love you too, I said as I watched them walk out of my office. I smiled. I wanted to find a mate who would love me as much as my mom loved my dad. I hoped that I would find her soon. Hunter POV. Welcome to the Crescent Moon Pack, Alpha Hunter, a warrior at the border said, bowing down to me. Thank you, I said, giving him a small smile. Please continue driving, the warrior told me. Alpha and Luna will welcome you at the pack house. I smiled and nodded, closing the window back up. Holden stirred. What's wrong? I asked him. I don't know, he mumbled. I'm nervous. You need to be careful. I sighed and shook my head. I know, Holden, I said. Nothing bad will happen. Stop worrying. I am an alpha wolf, he growled a little. It's in my nature to be careful all the time. I know, I said, trying not to chuckle at him. I am sorry. I could feel his annoyance grow, but he didn't say anything. I held back the laugh and continued driving toward the pack house. The land was beautiful. I was driving through thick forest and I just wanted to jump out of the car and run. The towering trees surrounded the road on either side. Their branches were stretching out overhead like a leafy canopy. Sunlight filtered through the dense branches. The air was fresh and cool, scented with the sweet aroma of pine needles and damp earth. The gentle hum of the car engine was the only sound that disturbed the quiet of the forest. The forest seemed to stretch on forever. I could sense the wolves who were standing guard in the forest. Suddenly, the forest opened up, and I found myself driving out into a clearing. I smiled, taking in the change of scenery. I saw the pack house ahead, and I slowed the car down. My eyes caught a glimpse of a couple who was standing at the entrance to the pack house and greeting the guests. They were smiling and shaking their guests' hands. I knew immediately who it was. Logan and Emma Carter, Alpha and Luna of the Crescent Moon Pack. Luna Emma was beautiful. She had brown hair and blue eyes. She looked kind and loving. She was radiating an aura of peace and tranquility to all those around her. Her eyes sparkled with a gentle light, and her smile was warm and welcoming. Alpha Logan was a strong and dominant man who exuded an aura of power and control. His very presence commanded attention and respect. I could tell how fiercely protective he was of his Luna. His arm was wrapped around her waist, and he was holding her close. No one dared to get too close to her. I got out of my car and took a deep breath. Suddenly, I was very nervous to approach them. I locked my car and fixed my posture. I had to tell myself that could do this. I was a freaking alpha of the oldest pack. I walked up to Alpha and Luna. Their eyes fell on me, and I could feel the nervousness grow. Alpha Logan. Luna Emma, I said politely, bowing my head a little. Alpha Hunter, Alpha Logan said. Welcome to the Crescent Moon Pack. I looked up and saw Luna Emma smiling at me. Alpha Logan was careful. His arm tightened around his mate's waist. Thank you for having me, I said. I am grateful that you decided to let me come. Of course, Alpha Hunter, Luna smiled. It wouldn't be fair to punish a young alpha for something that happened almost 20 years ago. I smiled at her. You are always welcome to our pack, Alpha Logan said, making me look at him. I certainly wasn't expecting him to say that. As long as you don't hurt anyone, of course, he added, giving me a stern look. I smiled and nodded. I would never do that. I respect and admire you, Alpha Logan. I would like us to work together in the future. He looked me up and down. His face was expressionless. I couldn't tell what he was thinking. We will see about that, Alpha Hunter, he said. I would appreciate even a consideration, I said, smiling politely. Alpha Logan nodded. How is your father? Luna Emma asked, making me look at her. He is very well, I said. He and my mom are enjoying their retirement. I am happy to hear that, she said politely. I liked her, I liked them both. I was grateful for the opportunity that they had given me. Please go inside and freshen up, Luna Emma said. One of our staff members will show you to your room. Thank you, I said as I bowed a little. I was just about to walk away from them when an amazing scent made me freeze completely. It was amazing. It smelled like a field of violets. What the hell was that? Holden stirred and tensed up. Is everything okay, Alpha Hunter? I heard Luna Emma's voice. What's that smell? I mumbled, looking around. I wanted to find it. I wanted to fill my lungs with it. Smell? Alpha Logan asked, confused. And then I saw her. Everything else around me faded away as my eyes locked on her. My heart skipped a beat, and I felt a rush of emotions wash over me. Excitement, nervousness, and a deep sense of connection. Her beauty was radiant and mesmerizing. Her features were delicate and perfect. Her eyes sparkled, drawing me in and making me feel as if she and I were the only people in the world. Time seemed to stand still as I took in the sight of her. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. All I saw was her. All I wanted was her. When her beautiful green eyes met mine, I thought that I would explode with happiness. She was mine. That beautiful angel was mine. Mate, we said at the same time, and I felt a huge smile spread across my face. I wanted to rush toward her. I wanted to hold her. I wanted to press my lips against her and taste her. But someone stopped me. Someone grabbed me before I could get to my angel. Someone didn't want me to go to her. I growled loudly. I was going to rip them apart. Sophia's POV. Come on, Fia, my brother sighed. We are late. I turned around to look at him. He was leaning on the door frame with his arms crossed over his chest. Why are you waiting for me? I asked. You can go downstairs. I will be there soon. Lex rolled his eyes at me. I am not leaving you alone. Hurry up. Fine, I mumbled as I bent down to zip up my boots. I was a little bit nervous. Stella kept stirring and I could feel the tension radiating off her. What's wrong? I asked her for what felt like a millionth time today. I don't know, she mumbled. Hurry up, Sophia. I furrowed my eyebrows and stood back up. Why was she so nervous? Why was she hurrying me up? Done? Lex asked, making me look at him. I nodded and took a deep breath. What's wrong? He asked, and I could hear a hint of worry in his voice. I don't know, I mumbled. I'm a little bit nervous. I approached my brother and he wrapped an arm around my shoulders. Don't be, Fia, he said, giving me a small smile. You can leave whenever you want to, okay? I nodded and smiled back at him. Lex moved his arm away from my shoulders and took my hand in his. He led me toward the stairs. The further we walked, the more Stella stirred. What the hell was wrong with her? Why is Stella so tense? Lex asked, looking down at me. Axel probably told him. I don't know, I mumbled. She's been like that the whole morning. Lex furrowed his eyebrows and squeezed my hand tighter. I took a deep breath as we started walking down the stairs. Something smelt nice. Was it a new air refresher? It smelt like coffee and vanilla. I took a deep breath, letting the scent soothe me. My mom chose well this time. Those were my two favorite scents. Lex and I were almost at the bottom of the stairs when Stella stirred and whined. I felt eyes on me and I looked to my right. The world stopped spinning. A tall, muscular man was standing by the front door. His eyes were fixed on me. My whole body trembled. Stella purred. My senses were overwhelmed by him. His dark brown eyes sparkled. His muscles clenched. His dark hair was perfect, and it looked so soft. I wanted to run my fingers through it. I wanted to bury my nose into it and take a deep breath. The scent was coming off him. He was my mate. Stella's excitement almost made me jump up and down. Mate, I mumbled at the same time he did. "Mate?" Lex exclaimed, and I could hear the confusion in his voice. My mate moved. He wanted to approach me. I wanted him to. I wanted to touch him. A quiet growl escaped me when my dad stopped him. Lex pulled me behind him, and I couldn't see my mate anymore. "Mate?" I heard my dad's angry voice. "Let me go!" My mate spoke, making me shiver. "She is my mate. You can't keep me from her." His voice was deep and pleasurable. It was like velvet, rich and smooth with a subtle roughness that added a touch of masculinity. His voice made me want to listen and follow. I wanted him to keep talking. I wanted to listen to him forever. "Get her out of here, Alex," my dad said, making my heart skip a beat. No, I didn't want to go. Why didn't my dad let my mate come to me? "Are you fucking kidding me?" my mate shouted. "You can't do this." I wanted to go to him, but Alex picked me up and rushed upstairs. "Let me go," I shouted, trying to get out of my brother's arms. His hold on me only tightened. "Stop it, Sophia," Lex growled. "You can't go to him." I heard shouting from downstairs. I heard my mate yelling. I heard my dad telling him that he couldn't go to me. "Mom?" I mind-linked her. "What is going on?" "Don't worry, honey," my mom said calmly. "I will talk to your dad. He is just surprised, that's all." "But why?" I asked. "Who is he, Mom?" I didn't recognize my mate. I didn't know who he was. "He is Alpha Hunter," my mom said. "He is Alpha Nathan's son." My heart stopped beating. "Alpha Nathan's son? The same man who tried to take my mom away from my dad?" "Hunter," Stella purred. Lex walked into my dad's office and put me down. He shut the door and started pacing around. He tangled his fingers into his hair and took a deep breath. "Lex," I mumbled, but he stopped me immediately. "No, Sophia," he said, looking up at him. "You are not going anywhere near that man." My heart clenched painfully. I understood why Lex and my dad didn't want me near him, but he was my mate. I wanted to talk to him. I needed to talk to him. "He is my mate," I said quietly. Lex growled and started pacing around the office again. I watched as he clenched his fists repeatedly. "His father is an insane bastard," Lex said angrily. "His son is probably the same. He can't be trusted. We can't allow this." Stella tensed up. I growled. Lex looked at me and raised an eyebrow. "Don't, Sophia," he said. "You know that I am right." "We don't know him," I argued. "He could be different than his father." Lex approached me and placed his hands on my shoulders. He bent down to look into my eyes. "His father tried to take our mom away," Lex said, gritting his teeth. "His father tried to kill Aunt Daisy and Mason." My heart felt like it was being stabbed repeatedly. My dad's office door burst open. Mason and Mike ran inside. "Is it true?" Mason growled loudly as he approached me and grabbed my arm. "Yes," Lex said as he looked at him. "You know the whole story?" "What story?" Mike asked. "Who do we need to beat up?" Mason nodded and pulled me into a hug. All of us ignored Mike. "I am sorry, Soph," he mumbled. "You deserve a better mate." I wrapped my arms around my cousin and let the tears fall down my cheeks. They didn't know him. I didn't know him. They were talking about him like he was the one who tried to take my mom and kill my aunt. Would they even let me meet him? Would they even allow him to show us that he wasn't his father? Stella whined. She knew the answer. We both did. Emma's POV. I was in complete shock. Alpha Nathan's son was my daughter's mate? Was the goddess messing with us? "Where is he taking her?" Alpha Hunter screamed, trying to get out of Logan's hold. "She is mine! Bring her back!" Logan growled. I looked around and saw our numerous guests staring at us. I smiled at them and grabbed my mate's arm. Take him to the kitchen. I mind-linked him. We can't do this here. Logan glanced around us and growled quietly. He started pulling Alpha Hunter away. What the fuck are you doing? Alpha Hunter growled. Let me go to her. My heart skipped a beat. There had to be a misunderstanding. Mom? My daughter mind-linked me. What is going on? Don't worry, honey, I said, trying to sound as calm as possible. I will talk to your dad. He is just surprised, that's all. But why? She asked, and I could hear the desperation in her voice. Who is he, Mom? My heart broke for my little girl. She didn't deserve this. He is Alpha Hunter, I said. He is Alpha Nathan's son. She didn't mind link me back, and I focused on my mate and Alpha Hunter. We were already in the kitchen. Logan let go of Alpha Hunter and growled. Alpha Logan, I will fight you to get to her, Alpha Hunter growled. She is mine. You can't forbid me to see her. You can't take her from me. Why would you even do that? Alpha Hunter was shaking. I could tell that he was holding back from attacking my mate. Logan took a step closer to him, but I grabbed his arm and stopped him. Do you know who she is, Alpha Hunter? I asked, making him look at me. Does it matter? Alpha Hunter growled. She is my mate. I don't care who she is. I don't care about her position in the pack. I took a deep breath and tightened my hand around Logan's arm. My mate was shaking. I could feel the anger radiating off him. She is our daughter, Alpha Hunter, I said, trying to stop my voice from trembling. Alpha Hunter's eyes widened. He looked from me to Logan. I could see his body tense up even more, but he took a small step back. He looked back at me, and I could see the fear in his eyes. Your daughter? He mumbled quietly. Yes, I nodded. Alpha Hunter closed his eyes and tightened his jaw. I don't care about the past, he said. She is mine. Well, I fucking care, Logan exclaimed angrily. I am not letting my daughter be with a man whose father almost destroyed my family. Alpha Hunter opened his eyes abruptly. He growled and took a step closer to us. My dad made a mistake, Alpha Hunter said angrily. He was cursed. He would never hurt anyone. He is a good man. Logan growled loudly. A good man? He tried to kill a pregnant woman. Logan, I called him, pulling him closer to me. Stop. He looked at me angrily. Don't tell me that you are okay with this. I looked at Alpha Hunter and took a deep breath. I wasn't okay with it, but the goddess had to have a reason for creating a mate bond between them. I am not okay with it, but we can't blame Alpha Hunter for his father's mistakes, I said, looking back at my mate. He isn't his father. Logan narrowed his eyes and tightened his jaw. Emma, he spoke sternly, but I interrupted him. We can't separate them, I said softly. It wouldn't be okay. We need to let them decide. We need to let Sophia decide. Logan studied my face for a second before he closed his eyes and sighed. His body relaxed a little. Remember everything we taught our kids about mates. I mind-linked him. We can't go against it, Logan. It wouldn't be fair. Both Logan and I decided that we would teach our kids about the value of the mate bond. We always told them that a mate bond was a gift from the goddess, which should be protected and cherished. Logan was the one who insisted on us doing so. He wanted to correct his own mistake. Logan opened his eyes and looked at Hunter. I am against this, Logan said quietly. My daughter shouldn't have been mated to you. But my Luna is right. I will let her decide. Alpha Hunter clenched his fists. I could see anger flash in his eyes. I leaned in and placed a small kiss on Logan's chest. I was so proud of him. I could feel his anger and pain. I could feel his fear. I had the same emotions he did. I was angry. I was scared. I was in pain. I knew how hard it was for him to put aside those emotions. I knew how hard it was for him to say those words. I am not going to hurt her, Alpha Hunter said angrily. She is my mate. My father taught me to cherish the goddess's gift, and that's what I will do. I glanced at Logan. He wasn't convinced. I need to see her, Alpha Hunter said, and I could hear the pain in his voice. Wait here for a second, I told him as I pulled Logan toward the other room. I needed to calm him down a little before we took Alpha Hunter to see Sophie. As soon as the door closed behind us, Logan pulled me to him and kissed me. I tangled my fingers into his hair and kissed him back. Why her? Logan mumbled as he leaned his forehead on mine. I don't know, I sighed as I caressed his cheek. The goddess had to have a reason. Logan sighed and lifted his head. He placed another small kiss on my lips. I love you, he mumbled. I know, I said, smiling back at him. Let's get this over with. Logan grunted and took my hand in his. We walked back to the kitchen. We will let you meet our daughter, Alpha Hunter, Logan said. One wrong move and you are out of my pack. Alpha Hunter tightened his jaw and nodded. I gave him a small smile as I started walking out of the kitchen and pulling Logan behind me. Where are you? I mind-linked my son. Dad's office. He responded immediately. What is going on? I didn't answer his question. I knew how he would react if he knew that we were bringing Alpha Hunter with us. Hunter's POV. My whole body was trembling. I needed to see her. Sophia. Her name was perfect. She was my angel. I couldn't believe that the goddess mated me to her. What was her plan? Was she trying to punish us? Was she trying to punish our parents? No matter what her reason was, I would never give up my mate. I would fight for her until my last breath. We approached a large oak door, and I knew that she was in the room. I could smell her sweet scent. I could hear her heartbeat. Dad, someone spoke, but stopped as soon as I walked into the room. My eyes found her immediately. She was staring at me wide-eyed. A man who was standing next to her pulled her behind him, making me growl. What the fuck is he doing here? The same voice exclaimed angrily. I couldn't see my angel anymore. I wanted to rip that man apart and pull her to me. We need to let Sophia decide what to do, Alex, Luna Emma said. He is not going anywhere near her, the man called Alex said. I am deciding for her. My eyes snapped to him, and I growled again. Who the fuck was he? He was so similar to my angel. They had the same eyes and the same hair. They had the same facial features. It had to be her twin. Alex, honey, Luna Emma said, but he interrupted her. I am not letting him hurt her, Alex growled, keeping his eyes on me. I am not letting him near her. I clenched my fists and tightened my jaw. She is my mate, I said angrily. You can't keep her from me. You can't decide for her. Alex opened his mouth to speak, but a melodic voice stopped him. Lex, please, she said, making my heart skip a beat. Let me talk to him. I looked at the man who was standing in front of her. Who the fuck was he and why was he touching my mate? I wanted to rip him apart. I narrowed my eyes at him, making him growl a little. Don't touch her, I told him quietly. Step away. Don't tell me what to do, the man said angrily. She is my cousin. I am protecting her from you. I will always protect her from you and everyone else. I tightened my jaw. I was the one who would always protect her. I was the one who would always make sure that she was safe. You don't need to protect her from me, I said. I am her mate. She is safe with me. Tell that to your father, the man said. He tried to kill my mother and me. My eyes widened a little. So this was Beta Andrew's son? Mason, please, my mate said softly. I wanted to see her. I wanted to touch her. Holden was on edge, and I was barely able to stop him from taking over and ripping everyone apart. Let's give them some time to talk, Luna Emma said. Alpha Hunter won't hurt her. I looked at her and smiled a little. I was extremely thankful to her. If she didn't calm Alpha Logan down, I wouldn't be able to see my mate. Are you serious, Mom? Alex exclaimed angrily. I am not leaving her alone with him. Yes, you are, Alex. Luna Emma sighed. Sophia will be fine. Alex tightened his jaw and clenched his fists. I won't hurt her, I told him. He approached me and pointed a finger at me. If you hurt her, I will fucking kill you, he threatened me. I will rip you apart and burn the fucking pieces. I believed him, but his threats were unnecessary. I would never hurt her. She was a part of my body and my soul. Alex walked past me and stormed out of the room. Mason, Mike, come on, Luna Emma said. Alex won't be your only problem if you lay a finger on her, Mason said as he walked away slowly. I ignored his threat because I could finally see her. Goddess, she was so fucking beautiful. She was staring at me and I could tell that she was very nervous. She kept glancing behind me at her parents. You have 10 minutes, Alpha Hunter, I heard Alpha Logan's voice. I could hear the door close behind me. We were finally alone. I smiled at her and she took a deep breath. I couldn't do this anymore. I approached her in 3 long strides and I cupped her soft cheeks. Both of us gasped. The tingles and sparks were so intense. My body shivered. My heart was racing so fast that I thought it would jump out of my chest. Holden was jumping up and down. I could tell that he was saying something, but I couldn't focus enough to know what. I finally had my mate in my arms. She placed her small hands over mine and smiled a little. Hi, Sophia, I mumbled as I leaned my forehead on hers. Hello, Hunter, she said softly, making me smile. You are beautiful, Angel, I said quietly. I can't believe what a precious gift the goddess has given me. She was. I couldn't believe how lucky I was. I couldn't believe that this beautiful she-wolf was mine. I could feel her tense up a little. I raised my head and looked at her beautiful green eyes. Our parents, she spoke, but I interrupted her immediately. What happened with them isn't our concern, Sophia, I said. We can't let that stand in our way. She took a deep breath and closed her eyes. She furrowed her eyebrows and bit her lower lip. I almost fainted. I wanted to do that. I wanted to kiss her and taste her and bit her lips gently. Fuck. Sophia, Angel, you are mine, I told her softly as I caressed her cheeks. I will never stop fighting for you. I want you. She opened her eyes and looked at me. I almost melted into a useless puddle. I kept my eyes on hers as I bent down and pressed my lips against her soft ones. I could feel my heartbeat in my throat. I could feel the tingles in my toes. I could feel my body warm up. She tasted fucking amazing. She moaned a little and parted her lips. Her warm breath made me shiver. I wanted more of her. Both of us closed our eyes at the same time. I wrapped an arm around her waist and pressed her closer to me. She fit perfectly in my arms. I would never stop fighting for her. She was mine and it would always stay like that. Alexander's POV. I was pissed as fuck. Was my mom going crazy? I slammed her office door behind me. Well, my whole body was shaking with anger. I wanted to go back and kill him. I wanted to go back and take her somewhere safe. If he hurt her, the door opened and the rest of my family walked inside. What the fuck, Mom? I screamed as I turned around. If he hurts her, don't talk to your mom like that, my dad interrupted me angrily. I looked at him and tightened my jaw. Alex, honey, I know that you are scared, but he won't hurt her, my mom said. She is his mate. He can't do it. I clenched my fists and started pacing around the room nervously. Why would you let him talk to her? Mason asked. He doesn't deserve her. What his father did was horrible, my mom said, interrupting Mason. But Alpha Hunter isn't his father. No, Mason said angrily. He could be even worse. The fear exploded inside of me. Mason was right. He could be even worse. What if he was hurting her right now? What if he killed her? What if I never saw her again? My heart was going to jump out of my body. I could feel it in my throat. It would fall out of my mouth. I was fucking sure of it. She is okay, Alex, Axel told me. She is alive. I would know if she wasn't. You would know if she wasn't. Axel was right, but the fear I felt blocked me completely. I couldn't feel anything but my heart racing like crazy. The door burst open and my uncle and aunt walked inside. Is it true? My uncle growled loudly. Is the fucker's son her mate? My uncle was as pissed off as I was. My aunt looked worried. Yes, my dad answered his question. Alpha Hunter is her mate. My uncle growled and looked around the room. Where is she? He asked. Talking to Alpha Hunter, Mason mumbled angrily. My uncle's eyes widened. He looked at my parents. How could you let that happen? He screamed. We have to go get her. He is going to hurt her. I completely agreed with him. It's okay, Andrew, my mom said. He won't hurt her. She is okay. My uncle's eyes widened even more. What the hell, Emma? He asked angrily. She will be okay, Andrew, my mom sighed. He isn't going to hurt her. My uncle looked at my dad in disbelief. You let your daughter alone with that man? My uncle exclaimed angrily. Are you fucking insane? His father tried to kill my mate and my son. That boy is not his father, Andrew, my mom said with a hint of anger in his voice. My uncle looked at her and narrowed his eyes. No, Emma, but he was raised by him, he said, taking a step closer to my mom. Do you have any idea how much hatred toward us Nathan probably planted into his son? You rejected him. We humiliated him. Logan and I beat the shit out of him. He hates us, Emma, and you just let your daughter alone with his son. The fear I felt just doubled. My uncle was right. I should have never left that office. I should have never left her alone with him. Andrew, my aunt spoke, but I didn't hear the rest. I growled as I rushed out of my mom's office and toward my dad's. I saw red. I was going to kill him. Someone stopped me, though. I growled and looked behind me. It was Jake. Don't, Alex, he said, tightening his arms around me. She is okay. Give her a few minutes to deal with this on her own. I narrowed my eyes at him. Did he think that he would be able to stop me? I could shake him off like a bug. Alex, I heard my dad's voice. I looked up and saw him standing at the entrance to my mom's office. Give her a few more minutes, Dad said quietly. She is okay. I wanted to rip them all into tiny pieces. Come on, Jake said as he started to pull me back into my mom's office. Don't lecture me, Andrew, I heard my mom's annoyed voice. I was there. I saved them. I walked in just in time to see my uncle growl at my mom. I swear to Goddess, Andrew, I will punch you if you don't stop growling at your sister, my aunt said sternly. That is my niece in there, my uncle said, clenching his fists. What if he hurts her? What if he tries to take her away? He is his father's son. Warriors are stationed around the pack house, Jake said calmly. We've increased border security. He isn't taking her anywhere. I mind-linked Jake as soon as I agreed to this shit show, my dad said. I told him what happened, and I told him to secure the place. I am not letting anything bad happen to my princess. My uncle scoffed and sat down on the couch. He crossed his arms over his chest and looked at my aunt. "You agree with Emma?" he asked her. My aunt sighed and nodded. "This boy isn't Nathan," my aunt said. "We can't ruin the possibility of love for Sophie." And then a hopeful thought came to my mind. "What if he is her cursed mate?" I asked, making all of them look at me. "What if she has two mates, just like Mom did?" I couldn't read the emotions on their faces. "I hope not," my mom said. "I don't want her to go through that." "But that could mean that there is another man for her," I said. "That could mean that she can reject Hunter." My mom sighed and approached me. She lifted her hands and cupped my cheeks. "I know that you are worried, honey," she said softly. "I know that you want to keep your sister safe, but don't hope that she has two mates. You don't want her to go through that pain." I tightened my jaw and took a deep breath. I heard the office door open and I looked behind me. "Fia!" I exclaimed as I rushed to her and pulled her into a hug. She was okay. She wasn't hurt. She was alive. Hunter's POV. I entered the bedroom, closed the door, and took a deep breath. I could still taste her on my lips. I could still feel her skin under my fingerprints. Her scent was still in my lungs. I was head over heels in love, and I would fight for her until my last breath. I thought that my heart would break when she said that she needed a little bit of time to figure everything out. I didn't know why. She wanted me as much as I wanted her. I could tell. I knew it. "It's because of her family," Holden sighed. "I know," I mumbled, "but Luna Emma doesn't have a problem with it." "Her father and brother do," Holden growled. "They will try to take her from us." I could feel his anger growing. He was possessive. He was territorial. "Of course I am," Holden sighed. "I am a wolf. I am an alpha wolf, and she is mine." "I know, Holden," I said. "Everything would be okay. We will give her some time to talk to her parents. She wants us." "She does," Holden agreed. "I talked to her wolf. They both want us." I smiled and leaned against the door. I ran a finger over my lips, remembering how fucking good she tasted. She was mine. Sophia was mine. My smile grew. My heart felt like it had grown double ever since I saw her for the first time. I felt stronger. I was happier. Everything was better because I found her. "You need to call your parents," Holden said, making me tense up. "Fuck," I mumbled as I leaned my head against the door and closed my eyes. "They will be thrilled, Hunter," Holden said. "I hope so," I mumbled as I opened my eyes and took a deep breath. I reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone. A wave of nervousness washed over me. What would my parents say? What if they reacted the same way Alpha Logan did? Would it be bad if I called them tomorrow? "Just call them, Hunter," Holden sighed. "They will be pissed off if you hide it from them." I sighed and unlocked my phone. Holden was right. "I am always right," he said, making me roll my eyes. I searched for my mom's number and pressed dial. I took a deep breath and waited to hear her voice. It didn't take long for her to answer. "Hunter, honey, is everything okay?" she asked worriedly. "Did you arrive? Were they nice to you? Did they hurt you?" I stopped myself from chuckling. "I am okay, Mom," I said as I walked over to the bed and sat down. "I arrived and they were very welcoming. I'm not hurt." My mom sighed in relief. "Oh, I was so worried." I gulped and closed my eyes. "Is Dad there?" I asked, wanting to tell them as soon as possible. I had to do it before I changed my mind. "Yes, honey, he and Harry are watching TV," Mom said. "He is waiting for me to get ready so we can leave." "Can you go to the living room and put me on speaker?" I asked. There was a moment of silence before my mom spoke worriedly. Why, honey? She asked. Is everything okay? Yes, Mom, I said, trying to stay calm. Just go to the living room and put me on speaker. Okay, my mom mumbled, and I could hear her move. I heard the door open and close. I heard her footsteps. A few moments later, I could hear my father and brother arguing about something. My heart was beating faster and faster by the second. Oh, hey, honey, are you ready? I heard my dad's voice. Almost, my mom said. Hunter is on the phone. Shit face, my father exclaimed, making me roll my eyes. Hey, bud, is everything okay? My dad asked. I could hear my mom scolding Harry quietly. I could imagine him rolling his eyes at her. Yes, Dad, everything is fine, I said. I have something to tell you guys. Did something happen? My dad asked worriedly. It did, I said as a small smile spread across my face. I found my mate. My family was silent for a second, but then their joy erupted. Oh, goddess. I knew you could do it, shit face. That's my boy. I chuckled and shook my head. Who is she? My mom asked. Is she pretty? Oh, what am I asking? Of course she is. We have a new Luna? My dad asked, not even allowing me to answer my mom's question. Will she be able to tolerate your annoying ass? My brother asked, chuckling. I rolled my eyes. I was going to kick his ass when I came home. I will tell you if you allow me to speak, I sighed. Sorry, honey, my mom said. We are just so excited. I smiled and took a deep breath. So tell us about our new Luna, son, my dad said. Who is she? I gulped and closed my eyes. I tried to take another deep breath, but I couldn't. It felt like a hand was squeezing my lungs. Sophia Carter, daughter of Alpha Logan and Luna Emma, I said quietly. The silence on the other end of the call made my stomach turn. What did you say? My dad mumbled after a while. Alpha Logan and Luna Emma's daughter is my mate, I repeated. That's awesome, my brother said excitedly. I heard that she is very pretty. He still didn't know what happened between our dad and Sophia's parents. Mom, Dad? I called them, ignoring my brother. We are very happy, honey, my mom said quietly. We are just a little bit shocked. I understood that. Why? My brother asked. Is it because she has magic? I think it's cool. How did her family react? My dad asked me. I sighed and ran my fingers through my hair. They were shocked, I said. At first they didn't let me see her, but Luna Emma managed to convince Alpha Logan to let me talk to Sophia. Why wouldn't they let you see her? My brother asked angrily. She is your mate. We will explain later, honey, my mom told my brother. Did you talk to her? My dad asked. I did, I said, smiling a little. She wants me to, Dad. She just needs a little bit of time to figure things out with her family. I would give her time. I would wait patiently. I would do whatever the hell I needed to do to have her. I would show her how much I wanted her. I would show her that I was a good man who was worthy of her love. I would show her family that I was a good man who would love her and protect her until my last breath. Sophia's POV. Lex was holding me so tightly that I was having trouble breathing. I am okay, Lex, I said, rubbing his back gently. He wouldn't hurt me. We don't know that, Soph, Mason mumbled angrily. We don't know who he is. He is my mate, Stella growled. He is, Stella, I sighed. But it's understandable that they are afraid. We need to be patient with them. She didn't respond, but I could feel her annoyance. Lex let me go and looked at me worriedly. What are you going to do? Jacob asked me, making me look at him. I took a deep breath and released it slowly. I wanted him. Goddess, how much I wanted him. He was my mate. He was made for me, and I was made for him. But he is dangerous, Sophia, Mason said as he crossed his arms over his chest. His father is dangerous. You need to think about what to do. It didn't feel like I was in danger when I was in his arms. It didn't feel like I was in danger when he was kissing me. I looked at my dad, who was leaning on my mom's desk. He had a worried look on his face. I moved away from Lex and approached my dad. I needed his comfort. He opened his arms immediately. He knew what I needed. He knew how much I loved him. "Oh, princess," he mumbled as he wrapped his arms around me. I wrapped my arms around his waist and leaned my head on his chest. "Everything is going to be okay, Sophie," my dad said. "We will love and support you no matter what you decide." I didn't know what to do. I wanted him. I wanted him so much it hurt. But his father hurt my family. His father almost killed my aunt and Mason. His father almost took my mom away from my dad. Was his father the same man he was all those years ago? Would he even accept me as his son's mate? Was he still angry at my family? Would he try to hurt me as an act of revenge? Would he try to hurt my family again? Well, I didn't care if he hurt me, but I couldn't let him hurt my family. And then there was the whole issue with my magic. I had both light and dark magic inside me. Anna and my mom taught me how to gain control over the darkness. They taught me how to suppress it and stop it from consuming me. I hadn't told anyone yet, but it was getting harder and harder to keep the darkness away. I could feel it pushing me to set it free. I could feel it fueling up my insides. I could tell that Lex could tell that something was going on, but he still didn't bring it up. It was only a matter of time before he would. What if I hurt Hunter with my magic? What if I hurt his family or pack? What if they started to fear me? I had so many questions and so many concerns. I had so many reasons to accept him and so many to reject him. I was so confused and I didn't know what to do. "Your dad is right, sweetie," my uncle said. "We will support you no matter what. We are just scared." I looked at him and nodded. "I know," I mumbled. "I am scared too." My dad kissed the top of my head and rubbed my back gently. "You can't do it, Sophia," Mason said as he started to pace around. "His father could hurt you. He could hurt you. Maybe you're not even his real mate. There are so many things to consider." I stopped listening. My heart felt like it was going to stop. What did Mason say? I wasn't Hunter's real mate. What? Why would he say that? I was Hunter's mate. I felt it all. The connection, the tingles, the sparks. I felt it all. It was there. It wasn't fake. I could feel my heartbeat in my throat. What the hell was Mason talking about? What did you say? I mumbled as I stepped away from my dad. Mason stopped talking and looked at me. He furrowed his eyebrows. I said a lot, he mumbled with a confused expression on his face. You said that I'm not Hunter's real mate, I mumbled, trying to stop my voice from shaking. A look of guilt flashed across Mason's face. He looked at my mom. And then it dawned on me. They thought that I was his cursed mate. I felt tears at the corners of my eyes. Sophie, honey, he is your goddess-given mate, my mom said, as she pulled me into her arms. You are not cursed, princess. I hugged my mom and leaned my head on her shoulders. Warm tears fell on my cheek. I am sorry, Soph, Mason mumbled. We were talking about the possibility of you having two mates just like your mom, and it just came out. I didn't mean to hurt you. I am sorry. I am so sorry. Stella whined. Her pain overwhelmed me. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. My mom kept kissing the top of my head. You are not going to go through that pain, my princess, my mom said softly. I promise. Was it possible? Did I have two mates just like my mom did? Was Hunter my cursed mate? Was I bonded to another man as well? No, Stella whined. We are his, I know it. I can feel it. I didn't respond. I couldn't. The pain was drowning me. Okay, everyone out, my brother said angrily. Leave us alone. Alex, my uncle spoke, but Alex interrupted him. I said to leave us alone, Lex said. I need to talk to her alone. My mom kissed the top of my head again and let me go. It is going to be okay, Soph, my mom said, as she cupped my cheeks and gave me a small smile. We are all here for you. I heard the rest of my family leave my mom's office quietly. My mom and dad stayed. We love you, princess, my dad mumbled as he hugged me tightly. It's going to be okay. I promise. I love you too, I mumbled as I hugged my dad back. He let me go and took my mom's hand in hers. They both gave me a small smile and walked out of the office. I took a deep breath and turned around to look at my brother. Alexander's POV. I turned around to look at Fia as soon as my dad closed the office door. She looked like she was in pain. She looked exhausted. She looked so scared and confused. My heart broke and I wished that I could take her pain away. I wished that Hunter never came here. I wished that he wasn't her mate. But she wasn't tired just because of what happened with Hunter. She was tired for days now. And I knew exactly why. I don't know what to do, Lex, Fia mumbled as she let her head fall to her chest. She placed her hands on her head and groaned. I clenched my fists and tightened my jaw. I wanted her to reject him. I wanted her to stay here where she was safe. What if Hunter's insane father decided to hurt Fia as an act of revenge against my mom and dad? How the fuck could I let her go to Hunter's pack knowing that Nathan was there? Simple, I couldn't. But I wasn't going to tell her what to do. Despite what I had said earlier, I wasn't going to make decisions for her. I said it out of fear. Now that I had calmed down a little, I could think clearly. She was a smart girl. She would make the right decision. I had trouble calming myself down. From my point of view, my twin was in danger, and I was scared shitless. I could feel panic increasing inside my body. I could tell that I was on alert. My heart rate increased when she recognized him as her mate, and it hadn't slowed down since. I was tense and I was on edge. I kept thinking about her well-being, and it was hard for me to focus on anything else. I felt helpless and powerless. I felt vulnerable. It didn't feel like that just because of Hunter. I felt like that because I could tell that she was having trouble with her magic. This situation with Hunter could only make it worse, and that made my stomach twist painfully. I watched as Fia walked to the couch and sat down. She sighed and looked up at me. I can't tell you what to do, Fia, I mumbled as I crossed my arms over my chest. A part of me wants to. A part of me wants to make this decision for you, but I know I can't. I know, Fia sighed. What do you want to do? I asked her softly. She looked up at me and shook her head. I don't know, Lex. I sighed and approached her. I sat down beside her and rubbed her back gently. You must have some ideas, I said, studying her face. Her eyebrows furrowed and she looked down at her hands. I want him, Lex, she mumbled, but I am also scared. What if his father doesn't accept me? What if he is still angry at our family? I'd noticed that she wasn't afraid of him, not accepting her or of our family being angry at her. It made me happy. She knew that we would always be there for her, no matter what. And my magic, Fia added quietly, making me tense up. What about it, Fia? I asked, making her look at me. I don't want to hurt him, she mumbled. I don't want to hurt anyone. My heart clenched painfully. I pulled her into a hug. You are not going to hurt anyone, Fia, I said softly. We will find a way to deal with it. We always did. And then a thought occurred to me. I let her go and grabbed her shoulders. "Give it to me," I said. We never tried it before, but I was sure that it would work. It had to work. Why hadn't we ever thought of that? Her eyebrows furrowed. "What?" "The darkness," I explained. "Give it to me, Fia. At least a part of it. It will be easier to deal with it if we share it. If she could give me her magic and make me stronger, she could surely give me her darkness as well." Her eyes widened and she gasped quietly. "Lex, no," she said. "I am okay. I can deal with it." "Fia, I can handle it," I said sternly. "Give it to me. I will be fine." She clenched her fists and shook her head. "No, Lex," she said. "I am not putting you in danger. I am not doing it. I can handle it. Everything will be okay." "Fia," I spoke, but she interrupted me. "No, Alexander," she said sternly. "Stop asking. We've never done it before. I don't even know how to do it. I don't even know if I could do it." "It would be the same as when you share your light magic with me," I said. "Only it wouldn't make me stronger. It would make me weaker." It made sense. It had to work. Fia narrowed her eyes at me and crossed her arms over her chest. "If I told you to do something that would weaken me, would you do it?" she asked, making my eyes widen a little. "Of course I wouldn't. I would never do anything that could potentially harm her. But this was different. It wouldn't harm me, and I would make it easier on her." "That's not the same," I argued. "I won't get hurt." "Yes, it is, and we don't know that," she sighed. "I am not doing it, Lex." I wanted to argue again, but she interrupted me before I even got to speak. "Don't even try, Lex," she sighed again. "I will talk to Mom and Anna about it. I am not putting you in danger." I took a deep breath and released it slowly. She took my hand in hers and leaned her head on my shoulders. "What should I do, Lex?" she mumbled. I ran my fingers through her hair and leaned my head on hers. "I don't know, Fia," I mumbled. "I will be here no matter what you decide to do. I need you to know that I will never let anyone hurt you, and I will never let you hurt anyone. I am here for you just like I was from the day we were born." She was my twin. She was in my every memory. I didn't know how a life without her looked. I couldn't even imagine it. We shared everything in our lives. She was there for me through everything in my life. We started walking together. We started talking together. We were there for each other through everything, and I would never allow anything or anyone to change that. Hunter's POV. My family was a bit surprised, but thrilled that I found my mate. I could tell that my dad struggled with the idea of Emma's daughter being my mate, but he was happy for me. A huge smile spread across my face. I'd never been happier. I understood Sophia's need to take a little bit of time to think everything through, but I knew everything would work out. I stood up and walked toward the door. I needed to go find her. I already missed her. I wanted to spend some more time with her and get to know her a bit better. We both wanted to talk to our families, but now that that was done, I was more than ready to spend some time with my mate. I could maybe even kiss her again. "You have to kiss her again," Holden sighed longingly. I chuckled and stepped out into the hallway. I assumed that Sophia was in her mom's office. I left her there less than half an hour ago. I had a huge smile as I approached Luna Emma's office. Her scent was strong here, and it relaxed me immediately. I took a deep breath, enjoying the shivers that went up and down my spine. I was just in front of Alpha Logan's office when I heard something that made me furious. I barely managed to keep Holden from coming out and tearing the whole place down. "I still think that there is a chance he could be her cursed mate," a voice said. "Cursed mate? As in not real? Someone thought that there was another man out there that would try to take her from me? Cursed like my father was Luna Emma's cursed mate?" My heart raced and my vision blackened. "No, Fuck no. She was mine and I was hers. There wasn't anyone else who could claim her. There wasn't another man who could take her from me. Before I even realized what I was doing, I burst through the door, growling and glaring at everyone inside. She is mine, I exclaimed, emphasizing every word. They were staring at me wide-eyed. No one spoke a word. I am not her cursed mate, I shouted as my body started shaking. She is mine and won't let you take her away from me. Alpha Hunter, no one is trying to take her from you. Luna Emma spoke softly. I didn't believe her. Did they tell Sophia that I could be her cursed mate? Did she think that too? Holden whined. My heart broke. I felt like something heavy was sitting on my chest. I looked around the room for the first time since I barged in. My angel wasn't here. Where was she? Where is she? I asked as a lump in my throat grew. I looked back at Luna Emma. She is in my office, she said softly. She is with her brother. She is mine, I told her. This isn't a curse. You broke it. This can't be a curse. Luna Emma approached me and took my hand in hers. Someone growled quietly. I felt the anger inside me grow. These people didn't trust me. They would never trust me. I am sorry, Alpha Hunter, Luna Emma said softly. We are all just a little bit shocked and scared. Why were they scared? I would never hurt Sophia. Goddess, just thinking about hurting her was painful. I would never hurt her, I mumbled, trying to swallow the lump in my throat. I couldn't decide which emotion was dominating. I was both equally angry and sad. Maybe you wouldn't, but your father might, someone said, making me look up. It was Sophia's cousin. He was staring at me with a pissed-off look on his face. The anger started winning over. My father would never hurt her, I said, clenching my free fist. He would never do something like that to me. Your father almost killed my mom and me, the man shouted, taking a step closer to me. I saw fucking red. I let Luna Emma's hand go and took a step closer to the man. My father changed, I growled. He isn't the same man anymore. He was cursed. He would have never done it if he wasn't. Someone pulled me back. Another man stood between Sophia's cousin and me. The man pushed Sophia's cousin back. We are not going to do this, a man holding me said sternly. I looked behind me and saw it was Alpha Logan. He let me go and gave me a stern look. I will not allow him to insult my father, I said, clenching my fists. I am sorry, Alpha Hunter, but your father almost killed my mother, the man said, making me look back at him. I can't have respect for that man. I can't trust him or you. My heart clenched painfully. Did Sophia feel like that too? Did she also think that my father was a horrible person? My dad changed, I said. He turned his life around. He is a good person and a great father. I am so sorry for what happened, but he would never hurt anyone. He would never hurt Sophia. I could see Sophia's cousin's jaw twitching. He clenched his fists and took a deep breath. Mason, honey, I know that you are worried and scared, but we can't judge Alpha Hunter based on his father's mistakes, a woman said softly. I looked at her, and I could tell that she was Mason's mother. So she was the woman my father threatened. Hunter? I heard my angel's voice, and I turned around abruptly. I didn't even hear her approaching the office. I was so focused on my anger and pain that I didn't even hear my mate coming. Her voice and her presence took every ache away. I rushed toward her, pulling her into my arms. The tingles and sparks made me shiver. Her scent surrounded me, and I relaxed immediately. What happened? She asked softly as she rubbed my back gently. Her touch was all I needed to calm down. I couldn't even answer her. I closed my eyes and buried my nose in her hair. I took a deep breath and let her scent fill my lungs. Sophia's POV. I could feel how tense Hunter was. I could feel his anger and fear. "What happened, Mom?" I asked again when Hunter didn't respond to my question. He only tightened his arms around me and pressed me closer to his body. "Hunter overheard us talking about the possibility of him being your cursed mate," my mom said, making me tense up. "What?" A sharp pain in my chest made me clench my fists. "Why would they talk about that? He wasn't my cursed mate, I was sure of it." "I am not her cursed mate," Hunter said, his voice laced with pain. "She is mine. There isn't anyone else for her." I rubbed his back gently, but he didn't relax, not even a little bit. "You broke the curse, Mom," I said, trying to remain calm. "I did, honey," my mom said. "That's why I don't think this is a curse." Hunter raised his head and turned around to look at my mom. His hold on me loosened. I took the opportunity to step away from him and look at my family. I understood their fear, but I was angry at them. They had no right to come between us. They had no right to hurt him like that. I loved them all so much, and I had to make sure that they knew how much I loved them. I had to make sure that they knew that I understood their fear and suspicion. I looked at my uncle. I loved him so much, and I knew how much he loved me. He was an amazing person, but everything that had happened to my mom and Aunt Daisy made him very suspicious and careful. I knew that out of all my family, he was probably the most worried and the angriest. I knew that he would have the hardest time coming to terms with this. He was the only one I wanted to reassure right now. Everyone else could wait. "Uncle Andrew, I know this is hard for you," I said, making him look at me. "I know that all you want to do is protect your family and make sure that we are all safe. I can't even imagine how hard it must have been for you to watch someone threaten your mate and your sister." I stopped to take a deep breath. Just thinking about someone hurting Lex, I couldn't even think about that. Just the thought of it made me want to scream and unleash the darkness inside of me. I forced myself to focus and finish what I wanted to say. "But that someone wasn't Hunter," I continued. "I love you, Uncle Andrew, and I will never stop loving you, no matter what decision I make." His jaw tightened. He looked from me to Hunter. "But I have to be the one who makes the decision," I said as I looked at the rest of my family. "None of you have the right to do it for me. Even if he was my cursed mate, it is my right to choose if I want to accept him or not." Hunter growled quietly. He took my hand in his and pulled me closer to him. My mom and dad were watching me with small smiles on their faces. "I am proud of you, Princess." My dad mind-linked me. I didn't respond. I looked at the rest of my family. My aunt was smiling at me, and my uncle was looking at me with a worried expression on his face. Mason looked pissed off. Mike kept glancing at Mason with a worried look on his face. Uncle Jake was looking at Hunter, but I couldn't tell what he was thinking. "You are right, honey," my uncle spoke after a few moments of silence. "You have to be the one who makes this decision. You are a smart girl, and we all trust you to decide what is best for you." I gave him a small smile. "I love you so much, honey." My uncle mind-linked me. "I am so sorry. I know that Hunter isn't his father, but I am so scared. If something happens to you—" I watched him close his eyes and take a deep breath. "Nothing will happen, Uncle Andrew." I mind-linked him back. "I will be okay." He opened his eyes and looked at me. He gave me a small smile and took Aunt Daisy's hand in his. "I talked to my parents," Hunter said, making us all look at him. The tension in the room increased. "What did they say?" I asked him, trying to stop my voice from trembling. "Were they angry? Did they tell him to reject me?" Hunter looked down at me and smiled. "They were a bit surprised, but they are so happy that I found you." My eyes widened a little. They were happy? Of course they are happy, Mason scoffed. Your father will get his revenge through Sophie. I looked at Mason with a shocked expression on my face. Hunter and Lex growled. Our parents and Jake gave him a disapproving look. Hunter tensed up. I could tell that he wanted to say something, but Lex interrupted him. Can I talk to you outside, Mason? Lex said angrily. Mason looked at him and narrowed his eyes. Lex was standing behind me, so I could see his face, but a few seconds later, Mason moved and walked out of my dad's office. I heard the door close and I took a deep breath. I am sorry, Alpha Hunter, my aunt said. Mason is very protective of Sophia, and he sometimes has trouble controlling his temper. I understand, Hunter said, but I could tell by the tone of his voice that he was pissed off. I squeezed his hand, making him look down at me. The angry look in his eyes disappeared immediately. How about we go back downstairs, Alpha Hunter? My father said. The other alphas are probably wondering where we are. Hunter looked up at my dad and nodded. I wish that he didn't have to go, but I needed some time to myself. I needed to think. Most importantly, I needed to talk to Anna as soon as possible. It was harder and harder for me to control the darkness, especially now that my emotions were a mess. I needed her to help me. I needed to be sure that I would never hurt anyone. I needed to be sure that I wouldn't put Hunter in danger by accepting him as my mate. Sophia's POV, I was pacing around my little office nervously. My parents, my aunt and uncle, and Hunter went to the Alpha gathering. They were gone for a while and they needed to go back. Mike was probably home or downstairs. He was excited to participate this year. I had no idea where Lex and Mason were, but the important thing was that they weren't there, and I could use this opportunity to talk to Anna. I asked Seth, one of the warriors in the pack house, to go get her. I didn't want my family to see me walk around the pack house. They would ask questions, and I wasn't ready to talk about it with them. I didn't want to worry them. I had to find a way to deal with my magic before I told anyone. My office door opened, and Anna walked inside with a worried look on her face. Is it true? She asked as soon as she closed the door. You found your mate? I took a deep breath and nodded. I didn't even know how she found out, but I didn't care about that. A huge smile spread across Anna's face. That's amazing, sweetie, she said as she approached me and pulled me into a hug. Who is he? What did your dad say? What did Alex say? Did they scare the crap out of him? Anna let me go and chuckled. She kept her hands on my shoulders, smiling softly at me. He is Alpha Nathan's son, I mumbled, making her eyes widen. What? She mumbled, as her hold on me tightened. He is Alpha Nathan's son, I repeated quietly. She studied my face for a few seconds. Wow, the goddess has a crappy sense of humor, Anna mumbled as she let me go. I sighed and gave her a small nod. What did your family say? Anna asked. They weren't thrilled, I sighed. Anna studied my face for a second. What did Alpha Hunter say? A small smile spread across my face. I remembered how it felt when he first touched me. I can tell by the look on your face that, unlike your family, he was thrilled, Anna said, chuckling. He was, I said. He said that his family is happy too. Anna's eyebrows furrowed. What are you going to do? I took a deep breath and released it slowly. I stepped away from her and started pacing around the office again. I don't know, Anna, I mumbled. I want to accept him, but I am aware of everything that happened between our families. That's not an issue, Sophia, Anna said. Your families will have to suck it up and move on from what happened. She wasn't wrong. I knew that my family would never stop loving me and supporting me. I didn't know much about Hunter's family, but I had a feeling that they would support him too. We would find a way to get past everything that had happened. It wouldn't be easy, but we would find a way. But that wasn't the biggest issue I was facing. That didn't worry me as much as my magic did. I felt it grow stronger. I felt it consuming me. "Don't worry about that, Sophie," Anna said softly. "Your family will support you." I took a deep breath and released it slowly. "I know," I mumbled. "I know how hard this is for them, but I am sure that everything will be okay." "Why are you so worried then?" Anna asked, making me look at her. My heartbeat raced. I felt shivers run down my spine. It made me uncomfortable. It made me even more nervous than I already was. "It's my magic, Anna," I said quietly. "It's getting harder and harder to control it." Anna's eyes widened. She furrowed her eyebrows. I could tell that her breathing picked up. "What are you talking about, Sophia?" she asked quietly. I started pacing around my office again. I clenched my fists and took a deep breath. "I can feel the darkness pressing to be released," I explained. "It started a few days ago, but it intensified when I saw Hunter for the first time today. It's like the emotion of seeing my mate for the first time made it worse. I didn't want to admit that to myself, but it was the truth. It felt like my insides were shaking. I felt like I had to keep my muscles clenched at all times just to be sure the darkness won't come out. I had bad days before, but it was never like this." "Oh, goddess," Anna mumbled. "I am afraid, Anna," I sighed. "What if I can't control it? What if I hurt my mate? I can't accept him if I am a danger to him and his pack." Stella whined. I felt a lump in my throat. Just thinking about rejecting him hurt like hell. Just thinking about rejecting him made me want to cry. But I would do it if it meant that he would be safe. I would never be able to forgive myself for hurting him or his pack. I was dangerous. What happened between our families wasn't the only issue here. "You are not a danger, Sophia," Anna said, making me look at her. "We will find a way to stop the darkness. I will find a spell or a potion. I will start immediately." "What if it doesn't work, Anna?" I asked, my voice trembling. I stopped by the window and looked at our backyard. My eyes found my mate immediately. My heart fluttered. My body shivered. He was so handsome, and I wanted him so much. I looked away from him. I couldn't accept him until I found a way to control this darkness that was making it hard for me to breathe. I looked at my mom and dad, who were talking with Drake and Amy. They must have arrived recently. I saw them glancing at Hunter. My parents must have told them what had happened. "It will work, Sophie," Anna said softly. "We always found a way. We will find a way this time as well." My office door opened, making me turn around. Lex walked inside with a worried look on his face. He sighed in relief when he saw me. "Why are you up here?" he said, glancing at Anna. "What happened?" "I just wanted to talk to Anna about my magic," I said quietly. Lex looked at Anna and clenched his fists. I saw him take a deep breath. "Can she share it with me?" he asked her, making me gasp. "Lex, no," I said immediately. "I already told you that I won't do that." Anna looked from Lex to me with a confused expression on her face. "You think that she could share her darkness with you?" Anna mumbled quietly. "Yes," Lex nodded, ignoring me completely. "I want to make it easier on her." "Lex," I wanted to argue, but Anna interrupted me. "It could work," she said, glancing at me. "No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't put my brother in danger. There was no way that I would be giving him any of my darkness. There had to be another way to contain it."